Hello, dear students. So let's see the solution to this paper. The first question is from the topic of alternating current, and I'm sure that you would have definitely done this question. Very formula-based question, direct question, basically. So here, what happens is a source of EMF, source of a frequency 50 hertz. So it's an AC source, and it is connected in a series LCR circuit where the resistance is 20 ohms, inductor is zero point 0.1 Henry. Okay, so you can write this value as L is equals to 0.1 Henry, and capacitance is 30 microfarad. Okay, so this is your capacitor. So basically, this will become 3 into 10 to the power minus 5 farad. Okay, so we have to like figure out whether the voltage will lead the current or current will lead the voltage and by what amount. So look, first let's calculate XC. So we know that XC is 1 upon omega C, standard formula. Omega is the angular frequency, which can be written as 2 pi into frequency. All right. So frequency here is given as how much? 50, and capacitance is 3 into 10 to the power minus 5. All right. So if you see 15 to 2 will become 100, and that will make it how much? 3 pi. 100 will make it 100 10 to the power minus 3. That means this will become 1000 upon 3 pi. Okay. Now 1000 upon 3 is nearly 333.33, and upon pi will be 3.14. So if you do this math, it will be nearly around 106. I have done this math, so I know this. This is 106.1 ohms that you are going to get. All right. So this is the value of XC. Now let's talk about the XL. So all of us know that XL is equals to omega L. Okay, and omega is 2 pi f into L. Now again, 2 into frequency is how much? 50. Pi we know is 3.14. Inductance is 0.1. So 15 to 2 will become 100. 100 into 0.1 will be 10, and 10 into 3.14 will be 31.4. Okay, so this will be the value of XL. Now clearly XC is more than XL, which means the circuit is capacitive in nature, and you all know that in a capacitive circuit, current leads voltage. So option C becomes wrong, option A becomes wrong. Okay, and if you have to calculate the value of the phase difference between the current and the voltage, so you can use the direct formula tan phi is equals to XC minus XL by R, right? So what is the value of this? XC is nearly 106.1 minus XL is 31.4 upon R is nearly 20. So again, if you do this math, 106 minus 31 will be how much? 75. So but because of this, it will become 74.7 because of the carryover. So 74.7 upon 20. So this will be 7.47 upon 2. So it will be nearly 3.7 if we talk about near about 3.73 maybe. So that will be the value of this. So phi is equal to tan inverse 3.73. That means current leads the voltage by the tan inverse 3.73. So option B will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you would have understood. All right. In this question, there's a body P having mass m which is moving at a speed u. It makes head-on elastic collision with another body Q having very small mass in comparison to P. So question says that Q will move with approximate speed of 2u after the collision. So let's first understand the statement 1. So look, suppose this is the body P. Okay, it has a massive mass of capital M, and let us say it is moving at the speed u. Okay, then there's a body Q, okay, which is which is at rest initially. Okay, this is at rest. Okay, now look, after the collision, first point that we must understand is that P will continue to be moving at the speed u nearly. So speed of P will not change near about because P is massive. Okay, P is much larger than Q. So impact of Q will not change the speed of P substantially. So we can say that P will continue to move at U. Imagine like this: suppose there's a train, okay, moving in the forward direction, and it hits a particle or small block. So will the impact from the block change the speed of the train? Of course not. Train will continue to move at the same speed. So that is what we are saying. So P will continue to move at the same speed, although in theoretically, if you talk about theoretically speaking, speed of P will decrease very slightly, very slightly. So this will become 0.9999 u because of the impact from Q. But practically speaking, you can say that the speed will remain same. Okay, now let us say Q after the collision starts moving at the speed v. This is the speed of the Q after the collision, and hence we can say that since the collision is elastic in nature, which is why we can say that velocity of separation will be is equals to velocity of approach. Now what is the velocity of separation after the collision? That is v minus u. This is the velocity of separation, and that will be equals to velocity of approach, which is u minus 0. That means v becomes 2u. Hence Q will move at 2u after the collision, but which is what statement 1 is saying. But if you see here, approximate what is written. Why? Because if I said, if you remember, I said speed of P will be nearly Q. It will be slightly less than u, to be very honest. So it will be actually 0.99 u, which is why we can say that the speed of Q will be also 1.99 u. Hence the word approximate. Statement is straightforward, is saying that momentum is conserved. Now we know that whether it's elastic, inelastic, any kind of collision, momentum will be conserved. So statement is correct. So we can say that both statements are correct. All right. Let us see this question here from electrostatics here. Basically, we have to find the electric field at the point P, which is on the perpendicular bisector of a uniformly charged thin wire of length L having a charge Q. Distance of P from the rod is A, uh, and the length of the rod is L, and the relation between A and L has been given to us. Okay. Now look, here the idea is that key, see, basically electric field due to a wire or a rod. Basically rod we can treat like a wire. So it has two components. Okay, one component is in this direction, which is called the perpendicular component of the electric field. Okay, and one component will be in this direction, this or this, that depends upon the geometry. So for the time being, let us imagine that this direction E parallel. So this component is parallel to the rod and this component is perpendicular to the rod. Okay, now what is the formula? So let's imagine that this angle is alpha. Okay, and let's imagine that this angle is beta. All right, so let's first find the value of alpha and beta. So very obviously this length is L by 2, as you can see. Okay, so what will be the value of tan alpha in this question? So tan alpha will be L by 2 upon A. Okay, so look, from here L by 2A is what? Root 3. Okay, from here if you see L by 2A, if you bring A this side, root 3 this side, so L by 2A is root 3. That means alpha becomes how much? Basically, sorry, it is 1 by root 3, not root 3, my bad. 1 by root 3. Okay, yeah, so alpha becomes how much? Alpha becomes 30 degree. Similarly, what is the value of beta? So beta is also L by 2 upon A. Okay, so this is also 1 by root 3. So beta becomes 30 degree. That means alpha and beta both are equal. Now what is the formula of perpendicular component, if you recall? So that is K lambda by R into sine of alpha plus sine of beta. Okay, and E parallel is K lambda by R into cosine of beta minus cosine of alpha. All right, so basically what we can say here is that if alpha and beta both are equal, so look, E parallel will become 0. Okay, because cos beta and cos alpha both will become equal. That means for this question E parallel is 0. And what is the value of E perpendicular? So E perpendicular, if I calculate, so that will be equals to K by R. Now what is R? R is the distance between the point at which we are trying to find the field and the rod, so which is equals to A in this question. Okay, what is lambda? Lambda is the linear charge density of the rod, which is nothing but Q upon L. Okay, total charge on the rod divided by total length of the rod. Okay, and sine alpha plus sine beta. Now alpha is also 30, beta is also 30, so you will get half plus half. So basically we will get this value as KQ by AL. Now we know that K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Q is Q. Okay, value of A is root 3 by 2L, so that you can put here root 3 by 2L, and one more L is present, so it will become L square. So if you see, this becomes how much? This 2 will make it 2, so that means Q upon 2 root 3 pi epsilon naught L square. Okay, now idea here is that key this is the net field also. Why this is the net field? Because parallel component is 0. That means the perpendicular component will become the net field also. Okay, so answer will be Q upon 2 root 3 pi epsilon naught E square, option D. All right, I hope you would have understood. Okay, let's move to the next question. In this question, there is a monatomic ideal gas initially at temperature T1 is enclosed in a cylinder fitted with a frictionless piston. The gas is allowed to expand adiabatically to a temperature T2 by releasing the piston suddenly if L1 and L2 are the lengths of the gas column before and after the expansion. Then the value of T1 by T2. So basically, let's understand what is happening. Look, this is a cylinder. Okay. Now, basically, if you imagine that this is the piston right now, somewhere over here. Okay. And this length is L1, right? And right now the temperature is T1. Okay, now because of an adiabatic process, let us say piston moves slightly up. Okay, because of an adiabatic process, the question has given that the piston moves slightly upward. Okay, basically, and this length will become L2, right? They have not given whether it will move up or down, but it is irrelevant. Basically, whether it moves up or down, I'm just showing you that this is the length L2. L2 can be smaller than L1 or L2 can be more than L1. Depends. I mean, it will not change anything. I'm just drawing an illustrative figure. So this temperature is T2. Okay. Now we can say that, so basically we have to find the value of ratio of temperatures. Now look, what we can say is in the adiabatic process, PV to the power gamma remains constant. You know that pressure into volume to the power gamma remains constant, right? But here we have to find the temperature. So basically what I will do, I will write the pressure as moles into R into T upon volume, and RT by V into V to the power gamma constant. Okay. Now look, this will become T into V to the power gamma minus 1. Okay, and but basically this will become V to the power gamma minus 1, and N as well as R will come on the RHS. So constant upon moles into R. This is also a constant, basically constant upon another constant, because moles will not change and R is anyway constant. So total RHS is a constant. So you can say that this will also be another constant. All right. So we can say that for an adiabatic process, Tv to the power gamma minus 1 remains constant. Okay. Now look, what is the volume of the gas initially? So if I call this as the cross section area, so volume of the gas initially is A into L1. You can see that. So I will say that T1 into V1 to the power, V1 means AL1. Okay, V1 means AL1 to the power gamma minus 1 is equals to T2 into final volume, look, becomes AL2. Okay, final volume becomes AL2 into T2 into AL to the power gamma minus 1. This will be constant. I mean, this will be equal because it is constant. So we can say that this process should be followed. Yes or no? Now question is over because you have to find T1 by T2. So you can say that A will kill each other. This will become L2 by L1 to the power gamma minus 1. And if you look monatomic gas, for a monatomic gas, we know that gamma is nothing but 5 by 3 standard value. That means this will become L2 by L1 whole to the power 2 by 3. So answer will be L2 by L1 whole to the power 2 by 3. I hope you have understood. All right. Then let us see the next question. Two ideal polyatomic gases at temperature T1 and T2 are mixed so that there is no loss of energy. If F1, F2, M1, M2 and N1, N2 be the degrees of freedom, masses, number of molecules of the first and second gas respectively, then temperature of mixture. See, basically this question is about mixing two gases and finding their common equilibrium temperature. Okay. Now in case you know there's a standard formula for it. So the standard formula is that common temperature is N1 into F1, N1 into F1 into T1. Okay. Plus N2 into F2 into T2. Okay. In fact, let me use capital N because here they have used, I'll tell you why am I using capital N. So N1 into F1 into T1 plus N2 into F2 into T2 divided by N1 F1 plus N2 F2. Now what everything means here, let me tell you. This N1 means number of moles. Now generally we use small n to represent number of moles of the first gas, but here they have chosen small n to use the number of molecules, which is why I'm using capital N to represent number of moles. So N1 represent number of moles, F1 represents degree of freedom of the first gas, T1 represents the temperature of the first gas. Similarly, N2, F2, T2 will be corresponding values for the second gas. Okay, so this is the standard formula. In case you know this, then you can directly write the answer. Basically how? Let me show you. So look, N1 is the moles. Okay, now number of moles can be written as how much? Total number of molecules, which is small n1. Look, capital N1, which is the number of moles of the first gas, can be written as small n1 upon Avogadro number. Yes or no? And by moles means total number of molecules upon Avogadro number. Similarly, N2 can be written as small n2 upon Avogadro number. Okay, so this value will become and small n1 upon Na. So capital N1 will become small n1 upon Na. Okay, remember here small n1 means number of molecules in this question, right? So that will be N2 upon Na into F2 into T2 divided by N1 upon Na plus N2 upon Na. Okay, Na gets cancelled. So this becomes N1 F1 T1 plus N2 F2 T2 divided by, sorry, here F1 will also be there and here F2 will also be there. So N1 F1 plus N2 F2, right? So I think option B is correct answer. Okay. Now look, if you want to know how did we get this formula, so we get this by using energy conservation. Basically, we can say that suppose you are mixing two gases. Okay. Suppose this is the gas one, this is the gas two. So initially the gas one was at temperature T1 and gas two was at temperature T2. Now when you mix them, so both will acquire a common temperature T, right? So what will you say? U1 initial plus U2 initial. Okay, U1 initial plus U2 initial will be is equals to U1 final plus U2 final, because total energy will remain conserved. Now what is U1? U1 will be, so if you know how to write the internal energy, F by 2 nRT. Okay, F means degree of freedom, so F1 by 2. N means number of moles here, which again I am using capital N to represent in this question. So F by 2 N R T1, okay, plus F2 by 2 N R T2, okay. Then final energy of the gas one will be, since it has acquired the temperature capital T, so you will write F1 by 2 N1 RT plus F2 by 2 N2 RT. Cool. Now it's over. Job done. R R R R 2 2 2 2 T key. Value of T will be what? F1 N1 T1 plus F2 N2 T2 divided by F1 N1 plus F2 N2. So question B, sorry, that is how we get this formula. I hope you would have understood. All right. Then in this question, there is a, the blades of the windmill sweep out a circle of area A. Suppose the wind blows at a steady speed of 36 km per hour and is perpendicular to the circle. Assume that windmill converts 25% of the wind energy into electrical energy. What is the electrical power produced? Area is given, density of air is given. So first let us understand that what is happening here. So look, here let's say this is a windmill and it is, these are the blades of the windmill. All right. So windmill must be rotating, the fan must be rotating, and let us say the wind is blowing like this, okay, perpendicular to the blades. Okay. Now this area is given to you, which is A. All right. Now look, what is happening is that the wind is blowing through the wind like blades, and what happens, the kinetic energy of the wind is getting converted to electrical energy, but it is also given that only 25% of the kinetic energy gets converted to electrical energy. Okay. Now see, question is asking what is the electrical power produced. That means basically we have to find key how much energy, electrical energy, is being produced per second. So basically we will say ki how much kinetic energy crossing per second, and 1/4 of that value will convert to electrical energy, right? So look, let's first find what is the rate of mass flow, or how much mass is flowing through per second. Okay, if you remember the fluids chapter, so rate of volume flow, d capital V by dt. Remember here capital V is not velocity, volume, it is volume. So d capital V by dt is area of the cross section into the speed. Okay, look, this speed, first you have to convert this into meter per second. Now all of you know that 36 kilometer per hour is equals to 36 into 5 by 18 meter per second, which means this will be 10 meter per second, right? So the rate of volume flow is area of cross section into velocity, and we know that volume into density gives you mass. Okay, so if you have to find the rate of mass flow dm by dt, so that will be density into rate of volume flow. So rho ab, that is the rate of mass flow. Now clearly, basically if I say that let's say dk amount of kinetic energy is intercepted by the windmill in dt time. Okay, dk amount of kinetic energy, you can say, so that dk you can write as half into dm into v square, right? If the, let's say, dm mass hits the wind blade, so we can sorry, windmill's blade. Okay, so you can say that dk amount of kinetic energy will be half into dm into v square. Okay, that is the amount of kinetic energy which has hit the windmill blade in dt time. So dk by dt will become half into dm by dt into v square, right? So you can see that dk by dt will be half into dm by dt. What is the value of dm by dt? So that is rho av. That is the value of dm by dt into v square. So that v square when you multiply it will become vq. Okay, so rho av cube by 2. That is the value of dk by dt. Okay, now this is the kinetic energy intercepted per second, or the rate of interception of kinetic energy. So we can say that what is the electrical power produced per second, okay, or rate of production of electrical power. So let me write that as dE by dt. Okay, so that will be 1 by 4 of dk by dt, because only 25% of it was getting, kinetic energy was getting converted into electrical power. So 4 to the 8, right? Now we can put the values here. Rho is given as 1.2, area of cross section is 30, area of cross section is 30. Okay, velocity was 10 into 10 into 10 upon 8, right? Now this you can see, this is 1000 upon 8 is 125, and this will be 12 3 is 36. Okay, so this 36 into 5 is how much? 180. So 18 carry, 36 2 is 72 plus 8, sorry 18 will be 90. So 9, 36 plus 9 is 45. So 4500 watt, that means 4.5 kilowatt will be your answer. I hope you have understood. All right. Then here what happens, a thick plano convex lens made of ground glass of refractive index 1.5 has a thickness of 3 centimeter at its center. Radius of curvature of its curved surface is 5 centimeter. An ink mark made at the center of its plane surface when viewed normally through the curved surface appears to be at a distance x from the curved face then axis. Look, basically it's a question of refraction at the curved surface, or spherical surface rather. So if you imagine, let's say this is a spherical surface and this entire thing is a glass basically, right? This entire thing is a glass. Okay, so here there is a mark and this distance has been given as 3 centimeter. Okay, this distance has been given as 3 centimeter. Radius of curvature of this curved surface is 5 centimeter, right? And mu of this is 1.5. Okay, now from, there's an observer here. Okay, so when he views this mark, let's say mark is at O, so how will he view this mark? The light will go from here and it will go in the eyes of this observer like this. Okay, so when the light reaches this observer, what happens? An image of this O will not be formed at O, but rather somewhere over here. Okay, I mean on this line basically somewhere, because of the refraction at the curved surface. Okay, so question is saying that this distance is x, so find x. Okay, now look, when the light goes from O to the observer, okay, when the light goes from O to the observer, so clearly the refraction will happen at this surface. Okay, refraction will happen at this surface. So we can say that this is mu is equals to 1. This is mu is equals to 1, and you will say that mu2 by v minus mu1 by u is equals to mu2 minus mu1 by r. That is what you are going to do. Now what is the value of mu2? So mu2 is 1. Okay, and what is the value of v? So v, remember, it will be minus x because ray is going in the upward direction and image is formed below the pole, or you can say below the refracting surface. So basically, now in optics that we assume direction positive in the direction of motion of incident light, so that means upward is positive, but the image is being formed below, so we can write this as minus x. Okay, mu1 is how much? 1.5. u will be minus 3 because this is the object, so this will be minus 3. Okay, minus 3. Okay, mu2 is how much? 1. Mu1 is 1.5 upon r. R will also be negative because again the center of curvature of this curved surface will be below the pole somewhere over here, so this is 5. That will, you will put as minus 5. So now we can calculate how much do we get. 1 minus 1 by x, and this will become plus 1.5 by 3 will become 1 by 2. This will be minus 0.5 by minus 5, so that will be 1 by 10. So minus 1 by x will be 1 by 10 minus 1 by 2, so that means minus 5 by 10, which means this is minus 4 by 10. So we can say that x will be 10 by 4, so that means 2.5. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. Let us see this question. Here is a particle moving in a straight line whose velocity as a function of time has been given. We have to find the distance traveled by the particle between 1 and 2 seconds. Okay, favorite topic again, kinematics. So velocity has been given as alpha t plus beta t square. All right, so we know that the rate of change of velocity is displacement, so we can say that ds by dt will be is equals to alpha t plus beta t square. So dt you can take this side. Okay, alpha t dt plus beta t square dt. Okay, and we can integrate. Okay, so basically what we will get, so this will be from 0 to s. Okay, time will be from 1 to we have to find distance between 1 say 2 seconds, right? So from 1 say 2 we can directly integrate. So this will be s Now alpha will be is equals to what? Sorry, time you will put, this will become alpha t square by 2. Sorry, alpha t square by 2, limits 1 say 2. Then this will become beta t cube by 3, limits 1 to 2. So what are we going to get? This will be alpha by 1 and 2 to the 4 minus 1 plus beta by 3 into 2 to the 4 to the 8 minus 1. Okay, so this becomes 3 alpha plus 8 beta by 3. Sorry, 7 beta by 3, not 8 beta by 3, my bad. 7 beta by 3. 2 to the 4 minus 1, 3 alpha by 2 it will be. Yeah, this 2 is also present. Na? This is also 2. So option B will be the correct answer. Now here there is one point I would like you to understand, that what we have found is displacement actually, because rate of change of displacement is velocity, but the question was asking distance. Now look, in these things will happen in the JEE mains exam as well. Now see, if particle continues to move on a straight line, okay, particle continues to move on a straight line without coming back, without changing its direction, that means if it is always going in the positive direction, or it is always going in the negative direction, that means if it is not changing direction, then of course we can say that displacement and distance will be equal. Okay, now here if alpha and beta are positive, look, if alpha and beta are positive, then clearly particles velocity will always be positive, right? Between t equals to 1 second and 2 seconds, if alpha and beta are positive, then clearly particles velocity will always be positive. That means particle is continuing to move in the same direction. So if nothing is mentioned, so the idea here is that we will have to assume these things. Yes, the question effectively we have to find the displacement. I mean, effectively we have to find the distance. But if nothing is mentioned, then we can say that okay, distance and displacement must have been equal. Okay, otherwise the answer will change. If alpha and beta are negative, then things might come out to be different. But since that information is not given, so we can assume distance and displacement will be equal. And remember that you have to keep things simple in the JEE mains exam. Do not overcomplicate things by like assuming things which are not very straightforward. Like if somebody starts thinking ki bhai here we can only find displacement, but distance how we will find. So in reality they are right, but see again, as I said, you have to keep things simple in the mains exam. All right, that is the idea. In this question there are two identical springs of spring constant 2k, and both are attached to the block of mass m. As you can see, when the mass is displaced from the equilibrium position, it executes simple harmonic motion. We have to find the time period. Now this is a very easy question, guys. You can understand that both these springs are in parallel. How we understand parallel? So if you move the block, then end points of both the spring should move by the same amount. So look, if you are moving the block by distance x, then this point is also going to move towards right by distance x, and this point is also going to move towards right by distance x. So that is the condition for parallel, that both these springs should have the same displacement. So in that case, we know that k equivalent will become k1 plus k2, which means 2k plus 2k. So what you can do is that you can replace replace the two springs by a single spring of spring constant 4k. Okay, so here we can say that it is as if the only one spring is attached whose spring constant is 4k. Now we know that this becomes a simple spring block system. So time period of a simple spring block system is 2 pi root of m by spring constant, which is 4k. Okay, so this root 4 will come out and it will cancel the 2, so answer will be pi into root of m by k. Okay, so option C will be the correct answer for this question. I think very easy question. This is, most of you should have done this if I am not wrong. Okay, then here what happens? Look, a soap bubble blown by a mechanical pump at the mouth of a tube increases the volume with time at a constant rate. Okay, so basically there's a soap bubble, you can see, whose volume is increasing with time at a constant rate. Okay, that means we can say that dv by dt is constant. Okay, dv by dt is constant. So basically you can say volume is proportional to time. In simple language, volume is proportional to time because volume is increasing at a constant rate with time. Okay, so basically we have to find the time dependence of the gauge pressure inside the bubble. Okay, now we know that volume of this, suppose the radius is r. Okay, so volume of this will be 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, that is proportional to time. So effectively we can say that r cube is proportional to time, right? What is the meaning of gauge pressure? So you might recall that if the outside pressure is p atmosphere, okay, p naught means p atmosphere, atmospheric pressure. So you know that inside the bubble, okay, the pressure inside the bubble is outside pressure plus 4 into surface tension upon radius. Yes or no? Now what is the meaning of gauge pressure? So gauge pressure means the extra pressure over and above atmosphere. That means the difference between the pressure inside and the atmospheric pressure. So like difference of the pressure and the atmospheric pressure, that will be called as P gauge. Okay, and which you can say in this case is also the excess pressure, which is 40 by R. So we have to find the variation of P gauge with time. Okay, so P gauge you can see is directly proportional to 1 by R. Okay, and from here you can see that R is proportional to time to the power 1 by 3. That means 1 by R will be proportional to time to the power minus 1 by 3. Yes or no? That means P gauge is proportional to time to the power minus 1 by 3. Correct. So option C will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, not a very difficult one. I think you should have done this. Okay, like simply if you would have gone, you would have done this. Okay, then let's see what is happening here. A coin placed on a rotating turntable slips when it is placed at a distance of 9 cm from the center. If the angular velocity of the turntable is tripled, it will just slip if it is at a distance of. So let's try to understand what is the slipping condition. So let's say this is a turntable which is rotating at an angular velocity of omega. Okay. Now look, let's try to understand when will a coin. Let us say this is a coin. Okay, which is placed at a distance x. So let's see when will this coin just start slipping. Now look, what are the forces acting on this coin? So one is this normal reaction from the table, right, which is going vertically up, right, and other will be the mg, which will be going vertically down. Okay, and this normal will be balancing the mg. Very obviously, normal will balance mg because coin is not moving vertically; it is moving in a horizontal plane like this. Okay, it is moving in a horizontal circle. So normal is definitely balancing the mg. Okay, now you tell me which force is providing the required centripetal force for the coin to move in a circle, because you know that if coin is moving in a circle, then it is definitely being acted upon by a force. So naturally it can be friction only, because normal and mg cannot have any component in the horizontal direction. So definitely friction is providing the required centripetal force, and we know that centripetal force can be written as what? M omega square into radius of circular motion. Okay, m omega square r. So basically this is the value of the friction force. Okay, now look, if you try to increase the radius of motion, or if you try to increase the omega, then effectively you are asking the value of more friction, because required friction is increasing. Okay, so when the coin is about to slip, we can say that this required friction would have become equal to limiting. Okay, this required friction would have become equal to limiting, which we know is mu into normal reaction. Hence this will become what? So condition will become m omega square x is equals to mu into normal, which is mg. So basically the idea here is that the slipping condition is that omega square x should be is equals to mu g. This is the slipping condition, or we can say ki at this is the condition after which the slipping will just start. So this is the critical condition, or slipping is imminent. That means it is just about to happen the moment this condition is breached. Okay, or so we can say that this is the required thing. Now look, initially this coin was placed at a distance of 9 centimeter from the center when it is just about to slip. Okay, you can see that it is placed on a rotating table, just slips. So basically initially let us say the angular velocity was omega 1, so x was 9 centimeters, right? This will be equals to mu g. Finally when the angular velocity has been tripled, so omega will become 3 omega. Okay, then this x will become, let us say, x2. Distance of x will become x2. Okay, mu has not changed, g has not changed, so we can say that these two things should be equal, right? So clearly if I take the ratio, okay, so basically what will we get? Omega 1 square omega square will get cancelled. This 9 centimeter upon 3 is 9 into x2 will become 1. That means x2 will become how much? X2 will become 1 centimeter. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. All right. Question on Carnot engine, formula based. Carnot engines working between 400 Kelvin and 800 Kelvin has a work output of 1200 joules per cycle. The amount of heat energy supplied to the engine from the source in each cycle is. Guys, pray to the God that you get a question on Carnot engine, because generally it will be a formula based question. So you know that efficiency of any engine, like not just Carnot, about any engine I'm talking about. So that efficiency we can write as work done upon heat input. Okay, this is the efficiency that this formula you can use for any engine. And for a Carnot engine, the efficiency can also be written as 1 upon T of sink, okay, divided by T of source, okay, T of source, okay. So T of sink is always less than T of source in the engine, so that means this was T of sink, okay, and this was T of source, right? So in this question now, look, W is how much? Work done has output value is 1200. That means this engine is doing a work of 1200 joules in every cycle. And we have to find the heat energy supplied. That means how much energy you have given. So basically Q in is what the question is asking. T sink is how much? 400 and T source is 800. All right. So very easy question. You can see that, which is why I am saying ki pray to God that you get a question on this. Very easy question this is. So Q in become 2400 joules. This is the answer for this question. I hope you have understood. Let us see this question, guys. So this question is about the projectile motion on an inclined plane. Now generally many students struggle in this, but see, it's not a very difficult question. Just be, slightly smart. So here what is happening, look, we have thrown a projectile horizontally and the time of flight is 5 seconds. So basically this projectile will go somewhat like this, and let's say it falls at this point. Okay, let's say this is the landing point L and this is the throwing point O. Okay, now what is the formula of time of flight? So if you remember, that is 2u sine theta by g cos alpha. Now what is the meaning here? So theta is the angle of projection taken from the inclined plane. Okay, theta is the angle of projection from the inclined plane. So basically this angle is theta. Okay, and alpha is the angle of incline. Okay, alpha is the angle of incline. Okay, so look, the idea here is that in this particular question the angle of incline you can see is 37. Okay, but since the projectile was thrown horizontally, so clearly theta will also be 37. Okay, because velocity was horizontal, so this angle is also 37 in this particular question. Okay, so what is the time of flight, which is 5 seconds given? So that will be 2 into u into sine 37. Sine 37 we know is 3 by 5 upon gravity is 10 into cos alpha. Cos 37 is 4 by 5, right? So from here 5 and 5 will get cancelled. Okay, what is the value of u? We are getting 10 fours are 45, so 200 upon 2 is 100 by 3. So this is the value of the speed at which it was thrown. Now look, let's see, understand that. So one thing is that we have to find this range. You can use the formula of range, okay, which is a very dirty formula. But if you are smart, then you don't need to remember that formula. Do what I'm telling you. Look, horizontal velocity is given. Okay, now remember that once the projectile has been thrown, it will always have vertical acceleration, gravity, right? Its horizontal acceleration will be 0. Yes or no? So it lands at the point L. So can you see that this was the horizontal displacement of the projectile? Yes or no? Horizontal displacement, right? So when it starts from point 2 and lands at the point L, so this is the horizontal displacement, correct? So what is the meaning of horizontal displacement? So basically displacement along the, which we can say, horizontal direction. So let's call this length as Sx. Okay, so how will you find the horizontal displacement? That will be horizontal velocity into total time of motion, because acceleration in the horizontal direction is 0. Now horizontal velocity is 5 and horizontal velocity is 100 by 3. Okay, because initially the entire velocity was horizontal, so this is nothing but v naught. This value is nothing but v naught. Okay, so this u which we are calling is nothing but v naught, and that multiplied by total time of motion. Okay, so that will be 500 by 3. Now this value is 500 by 3 and we have to find OL. Question over, because we know that this angle is 37. So you can see that OL cos 37. Okay, OL cos 37 is Sx. Done. So OL will be Sx, which is 500 by 3 upon cos 37, which is 4 by 5. So how much does this become? 2500 upon 4 is 12. Now this is 208. So I hope you have understood. All right. I mean, this is not exactly 208, but it will be very close to that. I mean, you can do the calculation also. It's not very difficult. You can see 12 into 200 will be 2400. Okay, and then 100 by 12 will be nearly how much? 8 point something. Okay, so I think 200.8, 208.3 approximately you will get. Okay, so I hope you would have understood. All right. So let's see this question here. NLM. Okay, mechanics favorite. Two masses m1 equals to 5 kg, m2 equals to 10 kg, connected by an inextensible string over a frictionless pulley, are moving as shown in the figure. Okay, the coefficient of friction between the m2 and the horizontal surface is 0.15. The minimum weight m that should be put on top of m2 to stop the motion is. So look, basically we do not want motion to happen. That means entire system should be at equilibrium. All right. Now look, value of m1 is 5g. So if you do not want m1 to have move, then that means this tension, okay, this T should be is equals to m1g, right? That means 50 Newton. Now the same tension will act on this system, m plus m2. Okay, and obviously the reverse force of friction should be able to stop this or balance this tension. Okay, so how much friction do you need to balance this tension? So friction should be is equals to at least tension. That means we need the value of friction of at least 15 newtons. Okay, so look, we know that this friction which we need will always be less than or equals to limiting friction. Okay, limiting friction means maximum value of static friction. That means 50 should always be less than or equals to mu times total normal reaction here, and that we know is equals to what? M plus m2g, correct? So that means this will be m plus m2 into g. Okay, g will cancel this 5, sorry, g will cancel this 10, 0. 5 upon mu is how much? 0.15. That should be m plus m2. Okay, m2 was given as 10. Now this will become 500 by 15, which is how much? 100 by 3. Okay, and 10 also you can bring on the LHS. Okay, so this should be the answer. That means 100 by 3 is 33.3 minus 10 should be greater than m, should be less than equals to m. So m should be greater than 23.3. So minimum value required is 23.3. That is the idea of this question. I hope you have understood. All right, very easy question. I think mechanics though you will do, right? Now in this question what happens? Basically there's a particle which of charge q mass m starts moving along the origin, from the origin under the action of the electric and magnetic fields with the velocity v naught j cap. The speed of the particle will become 2 v naught after a time. Again, it's a decent question. Look, wherever electric and magnetic fields are basically both in the picture, then you have to visualize a little bit. So let's try to understand what is happening here. So look, here let us say this is the electric field. Okay, this is the direction of electric field, which is x. Okay, so that means electric field is acting in this direction. Okay, now let's say this is the y-axis. Okay, this is the y-axis. Okay, and let's say this is the z-axis. Okay, this is the z-axis. All right, so now you see the idea here is that key magnetic field is also along the x-axis and electric field is also along the x-axis, right? So electric force will always act along the x-axis. Remember, electric force will always act along the x-axis. So we can say that in the x-axis, electric force will always act. That will be q into E naught I cap. This will be a constant force. Okay. Now remember, magnetic field is also along the x-axis. This means magnetic force can never act along the x-axis, because you know that magnetic force will be q into v cross b. Yes or no? So that means magnetic force will always be perpendicular to magnetic field, which means magnetic force can never have any component along the x-axis, which are because magnetic field itself is along the x-axis, right? What do we understand? That means along the x direction, only force that will always act is q e naught. That means this is a constant force. So what do you understand from this discussion? That along the x-axis, only the force that is going to act is q e naught. Okay, and this will be the electric force basically. Now electric force cannot act in the yz plane because electric field is always along the x-axis, and magnetic force cannot come along the x-axis. This means effect of both the fields are mutually exclusive. Okay, that means electric field will always if act along the x-axis, it will impact the x-axis motion, whereas magnetic field will impact the y-axis motion. Okay, now look, initially the velocity was 0, but the moment, no, sorry, initially not velocity was 0, initially the velocity was v naught j cap. That means initially the velocity was this v naught j cap. Okay, so this was the velocity, right? Now see, as I said, this is the j cap velocity. Okay, and magnetic field is perpendicular to this. So what will magnetic field? So for the time being, ignore electric field. Imagine that electric field is not present. Just forget it. Now what will this magnetic field do? This magnetic field will rotate this particle in the yz plane. Remember, if a particle is released perpendicular to a uniform field, then what happens? It performs UCM, okay, in a plane perpendicular to the magnetic field. So here the yz plane is perpendicular to magnetic field. So basically here this charge will perform UCM in the plane of yz if I take only magnetic field into account. Okay, ignore the electric field for the time. Okay, so basically if the direction of the like force will be centripetal force if you talk about, so it will be in the direction of v cross b. Okay, this magnetic force is in the direction of v cross b. So that means if you do v cross b, so v is up and b is towards the x-axis. So if you do v cross b, then you will find that the v cross b is acting in the z-axis. That means somewhere over here will be the center of the circular motion, and this kind of circular motion in the yz plane basically it will happen. Okay, so that means if I talk about y component, now remember magnetic force can never do any work. Okay, magnetic force can never do any work. Okay, that means the speed will not change. So what will happen? This v naught will just rotate like this. Okay, so at any instant if I talk about in the yz plane, at any instant if I talk about, so there will be two components of velocity. One will be y component and one will be z component. Okay, but the speed would not have changed because magnetic field cannot do any work. Okay, So at any instance, let us say, this is the y component, okay, vy, and this is the z component, vz. Okay, just a second. Yeah, this is the y component, vy, and let's say this is the z component, vz. So we can be sure that vy square plus vz square, that will be v naught square, because magnetic field cannot do anything. Okay, so I hope you have understood the effect of magnetic field. Now what happens? Now let's look up along the x-axis. Along the x-axis, what happens? Electric field is constantly like accelerating the particle. Magnetic force is not doing anything. Okay, so basically you can write velocity along x is equals to ux plus acceleration along the x into time. Okay, because of the constant nature of acceleration. Ux is 0, acceleration in the x-axis is force in the x-axis, which is q e naught upon mass. So acceleration in the x-axis will become this into time, that will be vx. Okay, and what do you want? You want net speed to become 2v naught. That means net speed v square will be vx square plus vy square plus vz square, that we know. So v square you want 2v naught, so that means if you put v as 2v naught, so this will become how much? 4v naught square. Vx square will become q square e naught square t square upon m square, right? And vy square plus vz square will be v naught square. Okay, vy square plus vz square will be v naught square. Now you can bring this side, so this will become 3v naught square, that will be is equals to q square e naught square upon m square into t square. That means the value of t is how much? Root 3 v naught into m upon q e naught. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. All right. Then let us see this question. There is a rough black spot on a polished metallic plate. It is heated up to a 1400 Kelvin approximately, and then at once taken in a dark room. Which of the following statements is true? So this question is of radiation basically. See, what happens here is that there is a metallic surface. Okay, wait. Yeah, there's a metallic surface. Okay, polished metallic surface on which there is a black spot. All right. Now see, idea here is that when you are heating it, so black body is a very good absorber. Okay, and it's also a great emitter, like best absorber and best emitter. So it will absorb much more in comparison to the polished surface, and by polished you can say its reflectivity will be very high. So we can say that it will reflect most of the heat, like this part will reflect most of the heat, polished part. Okay, but the black spot will absorb all the energy falling on it. Okay, hence we can say that it will absorb most of the energy, and once it is taken in the dark room, then you know that this black body will become a much better emitter, because a great absorber is also a great emitter, and black body is the best absorber, also a best emitter. So we can say that the polished body is like will be a very bad emitter, because it was a very very bad absorber. So which is why you can say that black body or the black surface will shine much more in comparison to the polished surface. In fact, if you assume the reflectivity to be 1, so for the polished surface I'm talking about, then that means polished surface will be approximately, it will not even shine. So the idea here is that the black spot will be shining much more, because it has absorbed a lot of energy and now it is emitting a lot of energy. So this shine is because of the thermal radiations. So you can say that in comparison to the plate, the spot will shine much more. I hope you have understood. All right, now let us see this question here. Here there's a uniform metal rod which is moving with a uniform velocity v parallel to a long straight wire carrying current I. The rod is perpendicular to the wire and its ends are at distance r1 and r2 from it, r2 more than r1, the EMF induced. So question of motional EMF, let us see what is happening here. Imagine that there is a long uniform wire carrying current I. Let me draw the figure this side. Okay, so this is a long uniform wire carrying the current I. Okay, so we know that magnetic field due to a long uniform wire is mu naught I by 2 pi r. Now there's a rod. Okay, there's a rod, and this rod is having a velocity v like this, and this distance has been given r1, and this distance has been given r2. Okay, so the velocity of the rod is parallel to the wire, and the length of the rod is perpendicular to the wire. Okay, so in this rod we have to find the value of the EMF induced. Now look, magnetic field will be a function of r. So if I go at a distance r, okay, and consider a very small element of dr, okay, so the magnetic field at this location will be what? That will be mu naught I by 2 pi r, mu naught I by 2 pi r, and the direction of magnetic field, if you see, will be going in, because this will be the kind of circle that will be formed. So if you see here, the magnetic field will be cross fields, that means it will be going in the screen. Okay, that will be the direction of magnetic field. So if you just look at this element dr, which is of length dl, dr, sorry, which is of length dr. So the EMF induced dE can be written as B perpendicular, V perpendicular, and length perpendicular. So look, B perpendicular is what? So basically we have to take the mutually perpendicular components of magnetic field, velocity and length. So magnetic field is going in the screen, velocity is up, that means y-axis, and length is dr along the x-axis. Look, that means all are already mutually perpendicular. So we just have to take these values as it is. Mu naught I by 2 pi r. This is the magnetic field at the location of this element. Velocity of this element is already v, and length of this element is dr. Look, this is the value of the length, and this is the EMF induced in this small element, and you want the EMF induced in the entire rod. So all you have to do is integrate r from r1 to r2. Okay, so EMF will be integrated from 0 to e, and the rod will be integrated from r1 to r2. So LHS will become e. Okay, and this will be mu naught I v upon 2 pi. These things are constant. Dr by r will become ln r, and after putting the limits, that will be ln of r1, ln of r2 minus r1. So ln of r2 minus ln of r1, which will become ln of r2 by r1. Okay, so we can say that what is the correct answer? Mu naught ib by 2 pi ln of r2 by r1 will be the correct answer. I hope you have understood. All right, then let us see this question here. A hydrogen sample is in fourth excited state. Fourth excited means n equals to 5. Remember, it is not n equals to 4. This is a very frequently occurring mistake. So most of you should remember this. Fourth excited state means n equals to 5. The ratio of the shortest wavelength of Lyman to shortest wavelength of Balmer in the radiations emitted by the sample. So look, basically suppose the hydrogen atoms are right now at n equals to 5. Okay, now these elements will de-excite. So basically electrons will jump back to the ground state. That means n equals to 1, but it can come via any path. That means suppose in the atom 1 of hydrogen, okay, in the first atom, so electron might jump from 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1, like that. In the second atom, electron might jump from 5 to 1 directly. In the third atom, electron might jump from 5 to 3, 3 to 1. So it can reach to eventual state 1 by any path. So question is saying that suppose in any atom, okay, what can be the shortest wavelength of Lyman? Now shortest wavelength of Lyman means highest energy, because short minimum wavelength means highest energy. So highest energy will happen if the electron jumps from n equals to 5 till n equals to 1 directly. Lyman means the final state should be 1, and jumping should happen from 5 because of the requirement of shortest wavelength, which means highest energy. Okay, so let's say this wavelength we are calling as lambda 1. Okay, this wavelength we are calling as lambda 1. So clearly energy of the emitted photon hc by lambda 1, okay, will be is equals to, or you can use the Rydberg's equation also directly. Then let me use the Rydberg's equation only. So 1 by lambda 1 will be Rydberg's constant into z square into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by 5 square. Okay, so that means 1 by lambda 1 will be Rydberg's constant, okay, into 1 minus 1 by 25. That means 24r by 25. That is the value of 1 by lambda 1. Okay, then similarly for the shortest Balmer, what we should have? So again the initial state was 5, and for the shortest Balmer, direct jumping should happen to n equals to 2, because Balmer means final state is 2, and for the maximum energy we will need jumping, like the shell difference should be maximum. So 5 to 2 direct jumping should happen, then you will get the shortest wavelength. So 1 by lambda 2, that will be equals to r into z square into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by, sorry, 1 by 2 square, not 1 square, 1 by 2 square minus 1 by 5 square. Okay, so how much will this become? 1 by 4 minus 1 by 25. So 25 minus 4, so 21 upon 4 into 25 into r. Z will be 1. So this is the value of 1 by lambda 2. Okay, and we have to find the ratio of what? We have to find the ratio of lambda 1 upon lambda 2, right? So if I divide the equation 2 upon equation 1, so if you do equation 2 upon equation 1, you will get directly lambda 1 upon lambda 2. Okay, and this will become 21r by 4 into 25 divided by 24r upon 25, 24r upon 25. Okay, so look here, 25 25 gets cancelled, r and r gets cancelled. Okay, so what we are getting? 21 upon 4 into 24, 3 into 7, 3 into 8. So 7 is to 32 will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood this. Let's move to the next one. Okay, now, so in this question, basically there's a musical instrument which has a string of length 0.5 and has a fundamental frequency of 400. So let's imagine that you are a guitarist, and let's say this is a string, okay, which has a fundamental frequency of 400 hertz. Okay, So look, this is a string fixed at both the ends. Now suppose you are playing this guitar. Okay, so fundamental frequency is 400 hertz. Okay, now question is saying that what is the third longest wavelength of resonance that reaches the ear of the listener, and this is the speed of the sound in the air. So basically look, basically suppose you are hearing, suppose you are standing here. Okay, now look, the idea here is that key whatever with whatever frequency the guitar will oscillate, or the guitar strings will oscillate, the same frequency, we can say sound will be produced. Okay, and sound will reach the ears of the listener. All right, so basically the frequency with which the guitar strings are oscillating, we can say that sound waves will be produced with the same frequency. Okay, now the idea here is that key basically what is the wavelength, question is asking the third longest wavelength. Okay, so look, wavelength heard by the listener, okay, wavelength heard by the listener will be speed of the sound wave in the air divided by frequency of the sound wave. Okay, and speed of the sound wave is 343, divided by frequency of the sound wave is same as the frequency of the guitar. Correct, as I said. Now look, if you want the third longest wavelength, that means we want third smallest frequency. Okay, third smallest frequency, because third longest wavelength means third smallest frequency. Now look, frequency of the guitar will follow the series n by 12 into root of t by mu. Yes or no? N by 12 into root of t by mu. Okay. And if you want to find the fundamental frequency, okay, fundamental, then you will put n equals to 1 here. So that will be the value of the fundamental frequency. Yes or no? And this value was 400. This value was 400. That means this is the smallest frequency. Okay, fundamental frequency, you know, is the smallest frequency. Okay, now the second multiple of this will be second smallest, and third multiple of this will be third smallest. So we can say that the third smallest frequency, which you can say is the third harmonic in this case, will be 1200 hertz. So this is the third smallest frequency with which the guitar can oscillate, right? And now if you want the third longest wavelength, then so you can put here f3. Okay, so lambda will be how much? 343 upon 1200. Note that if you put 400 here, then you will get the longest wavelength. Okay, but the question is asking third longest. So that means 343 upon 1200. Now 3 will make it 400. 3 will make it how much? 114.3 lagbhag approximately. So this value you can see is nearly 0.2 something. So of course option B will be correct answer for this question. All right. Let us see this question. In this, the maximum kinetic energy of the photoelectron liberated from the surface of the lithium, whose work function is given by EM wave whose electric field varies as per this. We have to find the maximum kinetic energy basically. So let's first understand the question here. Look, imagine that you have a lithium surface. Okay, now the work function of lithium is given to you. Now here light waves are falling. Okay, EM waves basically are falling, and the electric field of these EM waves is given by this dirty function. So this is A into 1 plus cos of, now look, this value I'm calling as omega 1, 2 pi f1 I'm calling omega 1, and 2 pi f2 I'm calling omega 2. Okay, so this becomes how much? Cos of omega 1t into cos of omega 2t. Okay, now using maths you can manipulate this. So this becomes A cos omega 2t plus A cos omega 1t into cos of omega 2t, right? This is the value of electric field. Now see, if so first thing is omega 2t. Now here you can apply, so I can write 2 here. Okay, in fact let me write 2 here. Okay, and I can divide by 2. Now look, 2 cos a cos b, 2 cos a cos b is cos a plus b plus cos a minus b. So that means we can write this as cos of a plus b means omega 1 plus omega 2 into t, cos a plus b, plus cos a minus b, that means omega 1 minus omega 2 into t. Okay, that means now basically understand that the value of these three components can be like broken down. I mean to say ki we can imagine as if the net electric field is the combination of these three components. Okay, look, a by 2 cos omega 1 plus omega 2t, and a by 2 cos of omega 1 minus omega 2t, right? What does this mean? This means that there are actually three waves coming. Okay, this is the first wave, this is the second wave, and this is the third wave, right? And net electric field is electric field due to the first wave, due to the second wave, due to the third wave, right? So it's a superposition of three waves that is happening. Now clearly the highest frequency is of this wave. Okay, so basically if I ask you what is the frequency of this wave, so that is omega 1 plus omega 2 will become 2 pi f1 plus 2 pi f2. Okay, this is the value of omega 1 plus omega 2, right? That means if you talk about the frequency, frequency is what? 2 pi. Basically this will become 2 pi, I mean to say frequency will become f1 plus f2, right? Omega upon, I mean this is the net omega. Omega 1 plus omega 2 is the net omega. So omega upon 2 pi will be net frequency, right? Omega upon 2 pi. That means this will become f1 plus f2, right? So we can say that the highest frequency will be because of this wave. Okay, that means you can say there are three different types of photons which are coming. One which are having highest energy, one which will be having this energy, and one which will be having this energy. Okay, which corresponding to this energy, basically corresponding to this frequency. So of course, if you want the electrons which are to be released corresponding to highest energy, so I mean with the maximum kinetic energy, so this electron will be released by this wave or this photon which has the this frequency f1 plus f2, right? So in this situation, we can say that for getting the Ke max, we will use this frequency f1 plus f2. And now what is the value of f1 plus f2? So you can see that this is f1, this is f2. So if you add up, so net frequency of this photon becomes 4.8 into 10 to the power 15. This is the energy of the incoming proton, which is the highest energy photon. Okay. Now using Einstein's equation, so first let's find the energy of this photon. So energy is h into f. Okay, this will become 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 into 4.8 into 10 to the power 15. Now look, this energy will be in the joules. Okay, but if you want this energy in the SI unit, I mean electron volt, sorry. So basically what you'll have to do, you'll have to divide this by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 90. Okay, because we can say that 1 joule is 1 electron volt is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 joules. Okay, so we can say that we have to divide this by 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and now this will be in the electron volt. Okay, now you can see the powers of 10 will get cancelled completely. This and this gets cancelled completely. 16 into 3 becomes 48. 6.6 into 3 will be what? 19.8, I guess. Okay, that means this is the energy of the incoming photon. All right, and hence we can say that using Einstein's equation, energy of the incoming photon is equals to 5 plus K max. So energy of the incoming photon is 19.8 is equals to 5 is how much? 5 is 2.35 plus K max. So the value of K max is how much? The value of K max is 17.45 electron volt. Okay, so option D will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. All right. Then let us see this question. In parallel plate capacitor whose capacitance is 14 picofarad is charged by a battery of potential difference 12 volt between its plates. The charging battery is now disconnected and a porcelain plate of K equals to 7 is inserted between the plates. Then the plate would oscillate back and forth between the plates with constant mechanical energy of this. It's a very good question. Let us understand what is happening here. So look, basically there's a capacitor of 14 picofarad. So let's call that value C as of now. And it has been charged to potential difference V, right? So clearly you can say that it will have the potential energy of U1 is equals to half CV square, right? And how much charge it will get? So we can say that the charge will be is equals to CV. Okay, remember C is this value. This is the value of C, right? And V is this value. Okay, this charge will be in the picofarad. Okay, picocoulomb. Sorry, charge will be in the picocoulombs, and potential energy will be in the picojoules. Okay. Now what you do? We disconnect the battery. That means charge, you must understand, will remain constant. Okay, charge will be constant now. Okay, now we are inserting a porcelain plate here. That means its capacitance, if you understand, capacitance is going to get decreased by a factor of 7. Okay, now you might have done this kind of a question. This question is asking a different thing. I'll come to this, but you might have done this kind of a question ki suppose there is an external agent, okay, who is going to insert this dielectric of K is equals to 7. Okay, and he does this process very slowly. That means he is going to insert the dielectric very slowly. So what is the work done by the external agent? Okay, what is the work done by the external agent? So in case you have done this type of question, it's a very famous question, by the way. So what do we do in this? How we will find the work done by the external agent? Look, we will say that by dielectric will when the dielectric has been inserted completely. Okay, so the final capacitance will become C by K, right? I mean, sorry, Kc, not C by K. My bad. So final capacitance will become Kc. Okay, final capacitance will become Kc because we know that capacitance increases K times. Okay, so what will be the final energy of the system? Okay, U final. Okay, so final energy will be using the formula Q square by 2C. Remember, Q was constant, so you will use Q square by 2C. 2C final rather. Okay, so once the dielectric has been fully inserted, I'm talking about this situation. The electric has been fully inserted. Okay, then in that instance this will be the final energy. So Q square means C square V square upon 2 into C final, and C final is Kc. So basically you understand that the final energy has gone down by a factor of K. So what we do, we say that work done by the external agent is U final minus U initial. Okay, U final minus U initial is the work done by the external agent, which means CV square by 2K minus CV square by 2. Hence CV square by 2 up is into 1 minus K by 1. Okay, let's calculate this value. What does this become? So C was 14 picofarad. Okay, so this is picofarad. V is how much? 12 into 12. Okay, upon 2 into 1 by 7 minus 1. Okay, so what does this become? This will become 7. So 7 into 12 into 12. This will become minus 6 by 7. So 7, 7 gone. 12 into 6 is 70, or we can say 12, 12 is 144 into 6. So 6 4s are 24. 6 4s are 24 plus 2 26, and 6 1 is 6 and 2 8. So minus 864 picojoules. This is the work done by the external agent. Okay. Now my negative sign means that external agent will be doing a negative work. That means he's eating away the energy of the system, which is why you can see that potential energy is decreasing by a factor of K. Okay. Now let's come back to this. Let's come back to this question, or one more point, then I will come back. So if the external agent inserts the electric slowly, and the moment electric reaches here, he releases it. He stops doing anything. So in that case, the work done by the external agent is minus 864. That means he has taken away the energy of 864 joules from the system. But suppose this external agent, what he did not do any work. Suppose that means he took this dielectric and he just released it. Then what would have happened? Can you believe? I mean, can you understand? Then what would have happened? Then this dielectric, as it goes inside the capacitor, the moment the electric reaches here, this much extra energy this dielectric will have in the form of kinetic energy. That means the dielectric will accelerate. I mean to say, suppose, so I'll try to explain. Suppose if I let this pen go down slowly, then this pen is going very slowly. It is not gaining any velocity. But if I release this pen, then this pen will accelerate. So in this case, the acceleration happens due to gravity. But in this case, the question given, the acceleration will happen due to the electrostatic force between the capacitor plates and the dielectric. There is no gravity here. This is not vertical plane. Imagine this to be horizontal plane. Imagine the screen to be horizontal plane. So the idea what I'm trying to tell you here is that the external agent had done this negative work. That means he has eaten away this much energy from the system. But if he's not doing any work, if he's just releasing the electric, then in this case, what will happen? Electric will go here, and by the moment electric reaches in this location, it will have a kinetic energy of 864 joules. In fact, this is a very famous question. In this, electric starts oscillating up, like up back and forth. So electric oscillates, and the total mechanical energy of the electric is 864 joules. Here, when the electric reaches this position, then it's all the energy is in the form of kinetic. When it at this position, it is in the form of potential. This is not gravitational potential energy. This is the electrostatic potential energy. So basically, electric oscillates at an energy of within mechanical energy of 864 picojoules. It's a very very good question. I hope you were able to understand what is happening here. All right. Let's see this question here. There's a point source S placed at a distance of 60 centimeter in front of a center of a plane of width 50 centimeter, and this mirror hangs vertically. There's a man walking on this line. A man walks in front of the mirror along the line parallel to the mirror at a distance of 1.2 from it. So basically, this is the line on which the man is walking. Okay, so let me extend this line. The distance between the extreme points where he can see the image of the light source in the mirror. So what is the question? Look, let's first understand the question. All right. So this is a point source. Now look, this image of this source will be formed somewhere over here. Yes or no? Like S dash. Now there's a man walking on this line. So on how much distance he can see this image? Now see, it's a very simple concept of field of view. Look, this light, if it strikes, it will go back. This light, it strikes, it will go back. This light strikes, it will go back. So look, the last light, I mean, or you can say the cornermost light ray that can get reflected will be from here, and it will go like this. Okay, similarly this side also you can see that this will go like this. Now definitely if I extend this, so you can see this is the geometry. All right, so if person is between these 2 points A and B, so he will get a reflected ray, because here also reflected ray will reach like this, here also reflected ray will reach like this, but here reflected ray can't reach because this is the B is the cornermost point at which reflected ray can reach. Similarly here A is the cornermost point. Okay, now this distance will be 60 centimeters because the source was at a distance of 60 from the mirror, so image will be formed at a distance of 60 from the mirror, right? 60 centimeter. Now this is 50. Okay, so using the similarity, remember, let's call this point as P. So this distance as dash P, which is 60, upon this total distance, which is 60 plus 120 centimeter. This is 120 centimeter. So 60 plus 120, that means 180. Will be equals to this upon this, similar triangles. Okay, so this is 50 upon AB over. So AB is how much? 150 centimeter. I hope you have understood. All right. Here what is happening? Two bodies, a ring and a solid cylinder of same material, are rolling down without slipping. The radii of the bodies are same. The ratio of velocity of center of mass at the bottom of the inclined plane of the ring to that of cylinder. This question you can do by energy conservation also, or by writing the force torque equation also. But if you remember, straight away what you can do, look, suppose this is the inclined plane, okay, and suppose this is any object, okay. Suppose this, so we know that in this case the center of mass, if the body is rolling purely, so the center of mass, what is the equation of center of mass? Center of mass has an equation of what? G sine theta upon 1 plus what? I by mr square. Okay, I center of mass upon mr square. This is the equation of center of mass. All right. Now for the ring, I center of mass will be mr square. Okay, so I center of mass will be mr square for the ring. So acceleration of the ring will be what? Mr square upon mr square will become 1. That means this will become G sine theta upon 2. For the cylinder, the I center of mass will be half mr square. So half mr square upon mr square will be half. So that will be G sine theta upon 1.5. Okay. Now look, we have to find the ratio of velocity of center of mass at the bottom for the ring to the cylinder. Now both the bodies are going to accelerate at a constant acceleration. So let us say both have a displacement of L. Let's say this distance is L. So center of mass in both the cases is going to displace by L. So we can use VC square is equals to UC square plus twice AC into displacement. Now UC is 0 for both. Okay. So basically we can say that VC will be under root of 2 AC into displacement. So basically velocity of ring divided by velocity of cylinder will be under root of acceleration of ring divided by acceleration of cylinder. Okay. Now the acceleration of ring is G sine theta by 2. In fact, G sine theta will get cancelled. For the ring, you will have a factor of half, and this 1.5 will go in the numerator. This becomes root of 3 by 4, which means root 3 by 2. So value of x is 3. I hope you have understood. All right. So look, in this question, this is a potentiometer circuit question. The potential difference E across AB, which is of 10 meter length, is larger than E1 and E2. For K1 closed, the jockey is adjusted to touch the wire at the point J1. So here you have J1, okay, so that there is no deflection in the galvanometer. That means J1 is the null point or the balancing point. Now E1 is replaced by E2 by making K1 open and K2 closed. So this is open and this is closed. Then the null point is J2. So now the null point is this. We have to find the value of E1 by E2. Now first let us understand this circuit. By you might feel that this is not a potentiometer circuit, but this actually is. Look, here AB, this thing is the potentiometer wire, okay, and the length of the wire in the question they have given is 10 meter. So if you see, this is 1 meter, this you can ignore, this is, I mean, just the connection point. So these dark lines are the connection points. So this is also 1 meter. Again, these things we can ignore, I mean the turn we can ignore. So basically look, this is 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter, 1 meter. So look, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So that is how this becomes 10 meter. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll show this entire 10 meter by a straight line so that this starts looking a bit familiar circuit to you. Okay, so this is A, okay, and this is B. All right. So this is that 10-meter wire. All right. Now look, this is the primary cell. So A is connected with the negative side of the cell. Generally, in the questions that you do, this is how you get. But here A is connected with negative side of the cell, which is E. Okay. And now this is K like this. Okay. And then we have this register like this. And wait, here RH is rheostat basically, and this is how it is. Right. Now, what is happening? A is also connected by the secondary circuit. Okay, so remember AB is a potentiometer wire. So let me make it red colored. AB is a potentiometer wire. Okay, and length is 10 meters. Remember. Okay. Now look, this circuit I am drawing like this. So this is E1. Okay, and right now the key is closed. Okay, and this is E2. So basically, this is the galvanometer. Okay. Now this is K1 and K2 is open right now. That means this connection is broken. And this is E1, this is E2. Okay, and this E will, so basically this is the galvanometer and galvanometer wire. So this galvanometer wire is going to touch the potentiometer wire at J1 or J2. Okay, now look, in the first situation when the K1 is closed and K2 is open, the galvanometer wire touches at J1. Okay, so what is the distance of AJ1? Now look, here in the potentiometer circuit, the current will be flowing like this. The primary circuit basically, current will be flowing like this because this is a balancing point. So no current can flow here. Okay, balancing point means this does not have any current. That means no current can come here also. Basically, you might be knowing the theory of this. So in this case, what we can say is the, like, look, E2 is not connected. E2 is broken because this K2 is open. So basically, this point is connected with negative of E, and this point is connected with the positive of E. So potential difference VAJ1 is nothing but E1 with J1 as the positive side. Okay, and in the primary circuit also you can see that current is flowing like this. Okay, in the primary circuit also, that means according to primary circuit also J1 is at the higher potential because remember in the direction of current potential drops. Okay, so J1 is at the higher and is at the lower. And what is the potential difference across AJ1 using the primary circuit? So that can be written as lambda, which is the potential gradient, into length of AJ1. Length of AJ1. Okay, AJ1. Now what is the length of AJ1? So that you can see from here. Look, this is 1 meter. 1 meter. Okay, 1 meter and 80 centimeter, right? So 1, 1, 1 and 80 centimeter. So AJ1, that means 3.8 meters. So length of AJ1 becomes 3.8 meters. Okay, that will be the value of E1. Similarly, when this K1 was opened and K2 was closed, so this will become open and this will become closed. So this J1 will become J2 now, E1 will become E2 now, and this will be lambda into L, length of AJ2. Now what is the length of J2? So look, from B if you measure, so this is 1 plus 1, 2, and this is 40 centimeter because this is 60 centimeter, so 40. So 1 plus 1, 2.4. So this is 2.4. So AJ2 will become how much? 10 minus 2.4, which means 7.6. Yes or no? And now we can say that E1 by E2 will be what? Lambda gone, 3.8 upon 7.6, that means 1 by 2. 3.8 upon 7 by 6, 7.6 is 1 by 2. That means A, value of A will be 1. Okay, I hope you have understood. In this question, there are two students A and B who are using two screw gauges of equal pitch and number of circular divisions are 100 on both. They measure the radius of a wire. The actual value of the radius is given to you as 0.322 centimeters. We have to find the absolute difference between the circular scale readings of both. Okay, absolute difference between the circular scale readings of both. Okay, now look here, the idea is that basically pitch value is also 0.1 centimeter. Okay, pitch value is 0.1 centimeter. So let's work in the millimeters. So pitch will be 0.1 centimeter, that means 1 mm. All right, the radius of the wire is how much? So that means let me call that as actual value, which is the radius of the wire is 3.22 mm. 3.22 mm is the radius of the wire. Okay, now look, we know that actual value is measured value minus the what? Zero error, minus the zero error. Okay, that means the measured value will be actual value plus zero error. All right. Now, for the student 1, if I talk about student A, then actual value will be same for both the students. It is 3.2 mm. Zero error, you can see for the student 1 is positive zero error. It is 5 basically. You can see that 5 is the reading. So zero error will be 5 into least count. So this will become 3.22 plus 5 into least count is how much? Least count will be pitch upon number of circular scale divisions. That means 1 mm upon 100. So that means 0.01 mm. So this will become how much? 3.27 mm. This is the measured value. Now clearly, to get such a measurement, 3 must have been the main scale reading and 27 must have been the circular scale reading. So for this first student, circular scale reading for the first student becomes 27. Okay. Now if I talk about the second student, so measured value will be again actual value, which is again 3.22 mm plus the zero error. Zero error will be negative for this because the reading is 92. So you can say that it has a negative zero error of basically minus 8. You can say 100 minus 92. If you remember, it is done from the opposite side. So 100 minus 92, that means minus 8 into least count. So this will become how much? 3.22 minus 0.08. So this will become 3.14 mm. Now to get this kind of the reading, 3 must have been the basically the main scale reading and 14 must have been the circular scale reading. Circular scale reading for this must be 14. Okay. So that means the difference will be 27 minus 14. That means 13. So that means we can say that the answer difference between this will be 13, which is what will be the answer for this. I hope you have understood. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
In this question, equilibrium constant of two reactions are given, and the equilibrium constant of a third reaction, which can be obtained from the first and second reaction, has to be calculated, right? So let's understand how can we bring the third reaction with the help of first and second. Like HgCl2 has to be in the left hand side, so I have to reverse the first reaction and add into the second. If you reverse the first reaction, it will be HgCl2 changing into HgCl plus Cl minus, and second reaction, if taken as it is, HgCl2 plus Cl minus changing into HgCl3 minus. Alright, if you add these two reactions now, you will get chloride ion cancelled, so 2HgCl2 changing into HgCl plus HgCl3 minus. Alright, that means I have reversed the first reaction and added into the second reaction, so net equilibrium constant of this reaction is equal to K2 into 1 upon K1. Alright, so if you do it like this, K2 is given as 8.9 divided by 3 into 10 raised to the power 6. It will be roughly 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 6. Okay, so your D option is going to be absolutely correct option. So simple question, chemical equilibrium, chapter based question, and with the help of two equilibria, we have to find out equilibrium constant of a third equilibria. Okay. In this question, there are three peptides given in the question. I have to check which peptide exists as a positively charged structure at a pH 7, that means neutral solution. Alright, so looking at the peptide structure of all these amino acids, like consider option A, we have two basic groups and one acidic group. In the second option also we have two basic group and one acidic group. In the third option, two basic group and one acidic group. So in all three amino acids, peptides of amino acids mentioned in option A, B, C, we have number of basic group greater than number of acidic group, right? So its PIE, which is isoelectric point, is expected to be greater than 7. And if any amino acid or peptide of amino acid has PI greater than 7, it will behave like a base. So added to water, that means in neutral solution, it will exist in cationic form, right? So all these amino acids or peptides mentioned in option A, B, and C, they exist in cationic form at pH 7. So your answer has to be all of these. All right. This is a question of general organic chemistry. I have been given 4 bases. I need to compare the order of basic strength, right? तो एक बात तो बहुत क्लियर है कि जो एरोमेटिक बेसिस होते हैं दे आर एक्चुअली वीकर बेसिस एज कंपेयर टू एलिफेटिक बेसिस. व्हाई? बिकॉज द लोन पेयर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन which present at nitrogen directly connected to benzene ring is delocalized into the ring. If a lone pair is delocalized, that means its locality keep on changing. That means lone pair is less available for protonation. इसका मतलब बेसिक स्ट्रेंथ कम होगा. तो एक बात तो तय हो गया कि जो तीन एरोमेटिक अमीन है इनका बेसिक स्ट्रेंथ CH3NH2 से कम होगा. ओके, तो CH3NH2 हैज टू बी स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट बेस. अब अगर मैं एरोमेटिक अमीन की बात करूं तो जो इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग ग्रुप होते हैं दे इंक्रीजेस बेसिसिटी especially from para and ortho position, and electron withdrawing group decreases basicity, right? बेसिसिटी कम हो जाती है इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग ग्रुप से. तो आप देख सकते हो कि सेकंड में NO2 लगा है, थर्ड और फर्स्ट में OMe लगा हुआ है. तो अगर मैं इन तीनों में कंपैरिजन करना चाहूं तो मोस्ट बेसिक ये होगा, देन आपका ये होगा, देन आपका ये होगा जहां पे पैरा पे नाइट्रो लगा हुआ है. तो लेट्स चेक विच ऑप्शन इज सपोज टू बी द करेक्ट वन. डी ऑप्शन. चेक इट. CH3NH2 strongest हो गया, then OMe para substituted aniline is more basic than aniline itself and para nitroaniline, right? So key concept is presence of electron withdrawing group at ortho para position decrease basic strength and presence of electron releasing group increases basic strength. Though there are many other factors used in deciding basic strength, but in this particular example this is enough to explain the basicity order. All right. Which of the following exhibit highest magnetic moment? Spin magnetic moment they are talking about. So to calculate spin magnetic moment we have to calculate number of unpaired electron, right? तो अगर मैं जिसमें अनपेयर इलेक्ट्रॉन्स के नंबर ज्यादा होंगे उसका स्पिन मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट ज्यादा होगा. तो अगर मैं बात करूं कॉपर प्लस 2 की, कॉपर इज एक्चुअली 3d10 4s1 प्लस 2 का मतलब 3d9 बचा, and 3d9 में there is one unpaired electron. If you fill these 9 electrons in 5d orbitals, one unpaired electron will be left out, right? Titanium plus 3 again, this is going to have one unpaired electron. Nickel plus 2 is actually 28 होता है निकल, तो 4d8 3d8 4s2 होगा, दो इलेक्ट्रॉन निकाल देंगे तो 3d8 बचेगा. एंड 3d8 में अगर आप इलेक्ट्रॉन कैलकुलेट करेंगे 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, so there are two unpaired electrons lying in this. Okay, and manganese plus 2 is actually 3d5 4s0. 3d5 will contain number of unpaired electron 5. All right, so maximum unpaired electron is present in manganese plus 2, therefore this is going to have maximum magnetic spin magnetic moment. All right. The IPC name of this compound, ये कॉम्प्लेक्स है जिसमें कैटायन भी कॉम्प्लेक्स है एंड एनायन भी कॉम्प्लेक्स है और इसका आपको IPC नाम लिखना है. तो लाइक अगर आप IPC नॉमेनक्लेचर सिस्टम के रूल्स अप्लाई करते हो तो करेक्ट नाम इसका होना चाहिए टेट्राकिस्पायरिडीन प्लेटिनम 2, राइट? प्लेटिनम यहाँ पे 2 ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट में है और सेकंड में भी प्लेटिनम 2 ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट में है, राइट? तो फर्स्ट वाले कोऑर्डिनेशन स्फीयर पे +2 चार्ज आ रहा है और सेकंड वाले कोऑर्डिनेशन स्फीयर पे -2 चार्ज आ रहा है. तो इट्स टेट्राकिस्पायरिडीन प्लेटिनम 2 एंड टेट्राक्लोरोप्लेटिनेट 2. दिस इज अ करेक्ट नेम. तो आगे आपको जाने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी करेक्ट. फिर भी यदि आपको चेक करना है तो लाइक टेट्रापायरिडीन यहाँ पे गलती है, टेट्राक्लोरो और यहाँ पे सेंट्रल मेटल का नाम नहीं दिया हुआ, यहाँ गलती है. टेट्राक्लोरो टेट्रापैरिडीन, टेट्राक्लोरो पहले नहीं आ सकता क्योंकि कैटायन का नाम पहले लिखते हैं फिर एनायन का नाम लिखते हैं, तो ये भी गलत है. टेट्राकिस्पायरिडीन प्लेटिनम 4 नहीं है, फर्स्ट कोऑर्डिनेशन स्पेयर में प्लेटिनम का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर 2 है, इसलिए ये भी गलत हो गया. सो योर करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज ए. ऑलराइट. Find the pH of a given solution which is 10% weight by weight of H2SO4 and density is given as 1.1 gram per ml. Alright, so first let's calculate the molarity of H2SO4, and molarity can be written as strength upon molecular weight. Strength can be written as 10 into percentage weight by weight into density divided by molecular weight 98. Percentage weight by weight is given as 10%, density is 1.1 divided by 98. This comes out to be 1.122. Okay, So molarity is known to us. Now HIN concentration in H2SO4, assuming both the dissociation reactions take place simultaneously, it will be twice of molarity of H2SO4 because 1 mole of H2SO4 produces 2 mole of HIN. So twice 1.122, this comes out to be 2.244. So pH is equal to minus log of this value 2.244. Alright. So this is going to be your correct answer. Option A is correct option. Simple question. It is just to calculate the molarity of H2SO4. If you do not remember this formula, you can simply derive, right? Weight by weight percentage दिया हुआ है, so just assume solution का mass is 100 gram, so mass of H2SO4 is 10 gram. Mass of solution is given, density of solution is given, you can calculate volume of solution. So mass of H2SO4 is known, volume of solution is known, you can calculate molarity in that way also. Alright. Solvolysis of 2-chloro-1-phenyl-butane. Okay, 2-chloro-1-phenyl-butane. 2-chloro-1-phenyl-butane. Alright. इसका सॉल्वोलिसिस करके एक्स एक मेजर प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं जिसका डिहाइड्रेशन करके एल्कीन बनाते हैं और एल्कीन का रिएक्शन ब्रोमीन से कराने पे क्या प्रोडक्ट बनता है ये निकालना है. ऑलराइट. सॉल्वोलिसिस मतलब हाइड्रोलिसिस की बात कर रहे हैं. आई थिंक यस इट शुड हैव बीन मेंशन्ड बट सॉल्वोलिसिस इज एक्चुअली सॉल्वेंट से रिएक्शन. तो अगर मैं इसका रिएक्शन H2O से कराता हूं तो इट विल बी CH3. सिंस इट्स एन SN1 रिएक्शन तो सबसे पहले तो कार्बोकेटाइन बनेगा ये वाला देखिए, राइट, एंड देन देयर विल बी हाइड्राइड शिफ्ट. अगर हाइड्राइड शिफ्ट होता है तो विल गेट मोर स्टेबल कार्बोनियम एंड CH3 CH2 CH2 CH प्लस PH, राइट. ये बेंजाइलिक कार्बोकेटाइन हो गया, ज्यादा स्टेबल है. देन वाटर का अटैक होकर के CH3 CH2 CH2 CHOH PH ये बन जाएगा. और फिर इसका डिहाइड्रेशन करेंगे अगर तो डिहाइड्रेशन से जो एल्कीन मिलेगा दैट विल बी CH3 CH2 CH डबल बॉन्ड CH PH. और इसका ब्रोमिनेशन कराया है Br2 इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ कार्बन टेट्राक्लोराइड तो विल गेट PH CHCl ब्रोमिनेशन कराया है. सो यू हैव टू यूज Br CHBr CHBr and CH2 CH3. so this is going to be your correct option of this question. चेक करिए कौन सा ऑप्शन आ रहा है. Let me check. PH CHBr Br. Yes, A is going to be the correct option of this question. Okay. तो यहाँ पे दो रिएक्शंस इन्वॉल्व हैं, दो इनफैक्ट तीन रिएक्शंस इन्वॉल्व हैं. पहला है सॉल्वोलिसिस SN1 मैकेनिज्म, दूसरा है डिहाइड्रेशन E1 मैकेनिज्म और तीसरा है इलेक्ट्रोफिलिक एडिशन ऑफ ब्रोमीन यानी ब्रोमिनेशन ऑफ एल्कीन. ऑलराइट. सो इट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन. This is a question from chemical kinetics. It's a very typical question. Usually one question you can always find out in JEE main and DEET paper. For reaction A plus B changing into product, what will be the order of reaction with respect to A and B? Okay. So look at the data. If you check, concentration of B is kept constant in second and third experiment. So simply if I assume order of reaction with respect to A is M and B is N, so I can write rate like expression like this: A raised to the power M, B raised to the power n. Alright. So R1, R2 upon R3 can be written as A1 upon A2, A2 upon A3 raised to the power m and B2 upon B3 raised to the power n. अब A2 और A1 का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन हमको पता है, A2 and A3 का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, ऐसे B2 and B3 का कॉन्सेंट्रेशन 5 into 10 raised to the power minus 4 upon 1 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 raised to the power m, and B2 constant है 6 into 10 power minus 5, 6 into 10 raised to the power minus 5 raised to the power n, and R2 R3 is 4 into 10 raised to the power minus 3 divided by 16 into 10 raised to the power minus 3. So 1 by 4 is equal to 1 by 2 raised to the power m, और ये तो 1 हो गया, something raised to the power n is 1, तो n की वैल्यू आ गई 2. That means order with respect to B is going to be 2. Okay, तो दो ऑप्शन वैसे ही यहां से हट गए. ऑर्डर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ए इज गोइंग टू बी 2. सॉरी, ए का ऑर्डर जो है वो आपका 2 हो गया ए के रिस्पेक्ट में ऑर्डर. तो ए के रिस्पेक्ट में ऑर्डर 2 है तो ऐसा दो ऑप्शन हट गया. अब आपको बी और सी में, सॉरी बी ए एंड सी हट गया, तो आपको बी और सी में चेक करना है कौन सा करेक्ट होगा. दैट मीन्स यू नीड टू कैलकुलेट ऑर्डर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू बी ऑल्सो. ओके, तो अब मैं फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड एक्सपेरिमेंट यूज कर लेता हूं. R1 upon R2 is equal to A1 upon A2 raised to the power m, which is already known. यहाँ पे n निकल के आया है, राइट, 2, और b1 अपॉन b2 रेज टू द पावर n. तो r1 अपॉन r2 है 5 इंटू 10 रेज टू द पावर माइनस 4 अपॉन 4 इंटू 10 रेज टू द पावर माइनस 3 मस्ट बी इक्वल टू a1 अपॉन a2. a1 अपॉन a2 यू कैन चेक 2 हो जाएगा, 2.5 डिवाइडेड बाई 5, 10 रेज टू द पावर माइनस 3 मैंने हटा दिया 2, और ये हो गया 3 इंटू 10 रेज टू द पावर माइनस 5 अपॉन 6 इंटू 10 पावर माइनस 5 रेज टू द पावर n. ओके, तो 1 अपॉन 2 रेज टू द पावर 2 इज इक्वल टू 1 अपॉन 8 आ जाएगा यहाँ पे, इंटू 1 अपॉन 2 रेज टू द पावर n. यहां से n की वैल्यू 1 आ जाएगी. दैट मीन्स ऑर्डर विद रिस्पेक्ट टू b is going to be 1. So 2 with respect to a, 1 with respect to b, therefore answer is going to be b. B option is going to be the correct answer of this question. Okay. A heat engine absorbs heat Q1 at temperature T1 and heat Q2 at temperature T2. Work done by the heat engine is Q1 plus Q2. देखो heat engine जो होता है वो एक cyclic system पे काम करता है. तो cyclic system के लिए delta U is equal to 0. Therefore W total is equal to Q total, right? तो Q टोटल एंड W टोटल सेम है ऐसा क्वेश्चन में स्टेटमेंट में दिया है, दैट मीन्स फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स को वायोलेट नहीं कर रहा है, तो इसका आंसर हो गया डी। डेफिनेटली ये सेकंड लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स को वायोलेट करेगा, बट फर्स्ट लॉ यहाँ पे कंप्लीटली फॉलो कर रहा है, तो इसका करेक्ट आंसर होना चाहिए डी। ऑलराइट, which of the following represents major monochlorination isomer formed in the following reaction? मतलब मोनोक्लोरिनेशन करा रहे हैं सैचुरेटेड हाइड्रोकार्बन का, तो कौन सा मेजर प्रोडक्ट होगा। हालांकि क्लोरिनेशन में कई बार ऐसे इस पे भी डिपेंड करता है कि जो रिलेटिव रिएक्टिविटी है हाइड्रोजन की वो कितनी ज्यादा है, सेम टाइम एक प्रोबेबिलिटी फैक्टर भी होता है कि एक टाइप के कितने ज्यादा हाइड्रोजन एटम्स हैं। बट जो पर्टिकुलर एग्जाम्पल हम लोग देख रहे हैं वहां पर हाइड्रोजन में बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है, इसलिए स्टेबिलिटी ऑफ इंटरमीडिएट से हमारा काम हो जाएगा। लाइक जो ए का प्रोडक्ट फॉर्मेशन है उसके अंदर जो इंटरमीडिएट इन्वॉल्व है वो देखिए ये वाला होगा, यहां पे क्लोरीन आ रहा है ना, तो यहां पे डॉट लगा है, यहां पे मिथाइल लगा हुआ है। ऐसे इस केस में देखो यहां पे रेडिकल होगा। ओके, और अगर हम बात करते हैं इस वाले पर्टिकुलर केस की, तो यहां पे रेडिकल होगा, और अगर लास्ट वाले प्रोडक्ट की बात करें तो जो रेडिकल की लोकेशन है वो बेसिकली यहां पे है। तो अगर आप देखोगे तो इसके अंदर टोटल हाइपर कॉन्जुगेटिव स्ट्रक्चर कितने होंगे, एक हाइड्रोजन अल्फा यहां पे है, 3 यहां पे है, 2 यहां पे है, तो 6 अल्फा हाइड्रोजन इसमें हो गए। राइट, इसकी बात करें 2 यहां पे है, 2 यहां पे है, 4 अल्फा हाइड्रोजन हो गए। इसकी बात करें तो 3 3 6 और एक 7 अल्फा हाइड्रोजन यहाँ पे हो गए। 3 यहां से देखिए, 3 यहां से और एक यहां से आएगा। ऑलराइट, इसमें बात करें तो एक हाइड्रोजन यहाँ पे मौजूद है, 2 यहाँ पे मौजूद है, एक यहाँ पे मौजूद है, तो 2 और एक 3 और एक 4, टोटल 4 अल्फा हाइड्रोजन हो गए। राइट, तो सबसे ज्यादा अल्फा हाइड्रोजन इस वाले इंटरमीडिएट में बन रहे हैं, दैट मीन्स दिस रेडिकल इज गोइंग टू बी द मोस्ट स्टेबल, और जो रेडिकल सबसे ज्यादा स्टेबल होगा उसका जो करस्पॉन्डिंग प्रोडक्ट बनेगा वो मेजर होगा। ऑलराइट, सो बी इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट आंसर। ओके, give the decreasing order of ARSN reaction for the following with NaOMe, यानी OMe माइनस न्यूक्लियोफाइल है और यहाँ ARSN2 रिएक्शन होने वाली है, और ARSN2 रिएक्शन में देखो ARF is more reactive than ArCl, then ArBr, then ARI, because जो रेट होता है डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू पोलैरिटी ऑफ CX बॉन्ड, जो लीविंग ग्रुप है ना, ये बॉन्ड जितना ज्यादा पोलर होगा उतना ज्यादा रिएक्टिविटी होगा। यहाँ पे एक छोटा सा कंफ्यूजन स्टूडेंट्स को होता है कि आई बेस्ट लीविंग ग्रुप है तो इसकी रिएक्टिविटी हाईएस्ट होनी चाहिए, नहीं, क्योंकि जो रिएक्शन है उसके अंदर सबसे पहले जैसे यहाँ लीविंग ग्रुप लगा हुआ है तो सबसे पहले न्यूक्लियोफाइल आके ना यहाँ पे अटैक करता है, पाई बॉन्ड टूटता है, और यही आपका आरडीएस होता है। राइट, तो आरडीएस में आपका जो CX बॉन्ड है वो टूट ही नहीं रहा है, ये X है, यहाँ पे आपका न्यूक्लियोफाइल हो गया, यहाँ पे नेगेटिव चार्ज आ गया, तो दैट मीन्स लीविंग ग्रुप का लीविबिलिटी इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, लेकिन इस कार्बन पे कितना ज्यादा प्लस चार्ज है या इस बॉन्ड की कितनी ज्यादा पोलैरिटी है वो उसके रेट को बढ़ा देगा। तो आंसर होना चाहिए 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, यानी डी इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट ऑप्शन। ऑलराइट, which of the following solutions are minimum freezing point, देखो कॉलिगेटिव प्रॉपर्टी का सवाल है ये। फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट में डिप्रेशन होता है जब भी आप नॉन वोलेटाइल सॉल्यूट डाल देते हैं सॉल्वेंट के अंदर, तो जो डेल्टा टीएफ होता है दैट इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू आई इंटू के एफ इंटू मोलैलिटी। राइट, तो इनफैक्ट के एफ तो सबके लिए फिक्स है, आई इंटू मोलैलिटी चेक कर लो, और आई नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स के डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल होता है। राइट, तो जिसमें ज्यादा पार्टिकल होंगे उसके अंदर डेल्टा टीएफ का वैल्यू ज्यादा हो जाएगी, और जिसका डेल्टा टीएफ ज्यादा होगा यानी डिप्रेशन ज्यादा होगा उसका फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट कम हो जाएगा। तो देखो जैसे यहाँ पे NaCl का I2 होता है तो 2 इंटू 0.01, और इथेनॉल का डिसोसिएशन होगा नहीं तो ये केवल 0.005 ही रहेगा, और यहाँ पे N का वैल्यू 3 है तो I का वैल्यू 3 हो जाएगा, तो 3 इंटू 0.005, यहाँ पे N का वैल्यू 2 है यानी नंबर ऑफ पार्टिकल्स 2 है तो I का वैल्यू 2 हो जाएगा, तो 2 इंटू 0.005, तो सबसे ज्यादा वैल्यू है ये, यानी I into molality is maximum for NaCl, so delta TF will be maximum for NaCl, और जिसके लिए डिप्रेशन ज्यादा होगा उसका उस सॉल्यूशन का फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट सबसे कम हो जाएगा। राइट, तो डेल्टा टीएफ विल बी मैक्सिमम फॉर NaCl, therefore TF will be minimum for NaCl solution। ऑलराइट, NaCl सॉल्यूशन का जो फ्रीजिंग पॉइंट है वो मिनिमम होगा, इसलिए आपका करेक्ट आंसर ए हो जाएगा। ओके, 1 mole of ferric oxalate is oxidized by X mole of MnO4 minus and 1 mole of ferrous oxalate is oxidized by Y mole of MnO4 minus in acidic medium. Ratio of X and Y. तो देखो फेरिक ऑक्सलेट होता है Fe2C2O4 होल थ्राइस। जब आप इसका एन फैक्टर केमिनोफोर के रिस्पेक्ट में निकालोगे ऑक्सलेट पोर्शन ऑक्सीडाइज होगा क्योंकि आयरन तो ऑलरेडी +3 फॉर्म में है और एक ऑक्सलेट जब CO2 में जाता है तो एन फैक्टर 2 होता है और इस कंपाउंड में एक्चुअली 3 ऑक्सलेट है तो एन फैक्टर 6 हो जाएगा इसका। ऐसी FeC2O4 जो है इसका एन फैक्टर क्योंकि यहाँ पे जब ऑक्सीडेशन करोगे तो आयरन 2 से 3 में जाएगा प्लस ऑक्सलेट CO2 में जाएगा तो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन यहां से चेंज होगा, 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन यहां से, एन फैक्टर इसका 3 हो जाएगा, 1 इलेक्ट्रॉन यहां से, राइट। तो अब मैं लिख सकता हूं कि इक्वलेंस ऑफ फेरिक ऑक्सलेट इज इक्वल टू इक्वलेंस ऑफ, या मिली इक्वलेंट लिख सकते हैं, इक्वलेंस ऑफ, जस्ट अ मिनट, इज इक्वल टू इक्वलेंस ऑफ केमिनोफोर या MnO4 माइनस। तो मोल है 1, एन फैक्टर है 6, मस्ट बी इक्वल टू x इंटू 5। MnO4 माइनस का एन फैक्टर 5 होता है एसिडिक मीडियम में। सिमिलरली आई कैन राइट इक्वलेंस ऑफ फेरस ऑक्सलेट इज इक्वल टू इक्वलेंस ऑफ केमिनोफोर। फेरस ऑक्सलेट के मोल है 1, एन फैक्टर है 3 इज इक्वल टू y इंटू 5। तो अब आप इन दोनों का रेशियो ले लो, इक्वेशन 1 है, इक्वेशन 2 है, तो अगर आप x अपॉन 5 निकालोगे तो 6 अपॉन 3 आ जाएगा, दैट इज x अपॉन y is equal to 6 upon 3, that is 2:1. All right, so 2:1 is going to be the correct ratio of this. All right, good question. Equivalent concept. अच्छा, इसमें एक छोटी सी मिस्टेक ये भी हो सकती है, फेरस ऑक्सलेट का अगर आप फॉर्मूला नहीं लिखोगे ना तो आपको एन फैक्टर निकालना बहुत मुश्किल होगा, बहुत मुश्किल मतलब गलत निकाल सकते हैं इवन इफ यू हैव द कंसेप्ट इन द माइंड। सो बेटर आप फॉर्मूला लिख लो पहले। ऑल राइट, in the organic compound of molar mass 108, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen atoms are present in this ratio by weight. देखो कार्बन का, हाइड्रोजन का, नाइट्रोजन का वेट रेशियो दिया है, इसको 9x मान लेता हूं, इसको x ले लेता हूं और ये 3.5x हो गया। तो मोल रेशियो निकाल लो आप, यानी एटम के का मोल रेशियो 9x डिवाइडेड बाई 12, x डिवाइडेड बाई 1 एंड 3.5x डिवाइडेड बाई 14। ये रेशियो कार्बन, हाइड्रोजन और नाइट्रोजन के बीच में जब आप निकालोगे तो इट विल बी 3:4:1, यानी कि जो इंपेरिकल फार्मूला हुआ, इंपेरिकल फार्मूला वो हुआ C3H4O, सॉरी N, C3H4N। अब मॉलिक्यूलर फार्मूला में मान लेता हूं C3H4N होल N, तो N की वैल्यू आ जाएगी, इसका मॉलिक्यूलर वेट 108 डिवाइडेड बाई, इसका अगर आप निकालोगे तो 54N आता, 54 आता है एक्चुअली, इंपेरिकल फार्मूला वेट 54 आता है तो 2 हो गया। ऑलराइट, तो एग्जैक्ट जो मॉलिक्यूलर फार्मूला हुआ वो क्या हो गया, C3H4N होल ट्वाइस, तो आपका आ जाएगा C6H8N2। ऑलराइट, so your option A is going to be the correct answer of this question. सिंपल मोल कंसेप्ट का क्वेश्चन है जहां पे इंपेरिकल मॉलिक्यूलर फार्मूला निकालना होता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ डेटा गिवन, उसमें कभी परसेंटेज दिया होता है, कभी मोल निकालने के और भी मोड्स दिए हो सकते हैं। ओके, uncertainty in the position of electron is equal to de Broglie wavelength. Uncertainty in the position में डेल्टा x ले लेता हूं which is equal to lambda, which is equal to h upon p. p is momentum और डेल्टा x into डेल्टा p is equal to h upon 4 pi। अब डेल्टा x मुझे पता है h upon p into डेल्टा p is equal to h upon 4 pi, तो h एक कैंसिल हो गया, डेल्टा p को मैं लिख सकता हूं m डेल्टा v अपॉन m इंटू v, m कैंसिल हो गया, 1 अपॉन 4 पाई। ऑलराइट, और डेल्टा v अपॉन v इज कमिंग आउट टू बी 1 अपॉन 4 पाई। तो ये है रेशियो, रेशियो, और हमें निकालना है परसेंटेज, परसेंटेज एरर इन द मेजरमेंट ऑफ वेलोसिटी। तो परसेंटेज एरर इन द मेजरमेंट ऑफ वेलोसिटी हो जाएगा 1 अपॉन 4 पाई इंटू 100, 1 अपॉन 4 पाई इंटू 100 करेंगे अगर आप, 4 इंटू 3.14 कर दो इंटू 100, this roughly comes out to be 8%। ऑल राइट, 8%। तो इसका ऑप्शन कौन सा दिया है, हाँ 8 इज गोइंग टू बी, बी इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। ओके, कंपेयर द रेट ऑफ एस्टरिफिकेशन। एस्टरिफिकेशन एक टाइप का SN2TH मैकेनिज्म को फॉलो करता है, राइट? यानी कि न्यूक्लियोफिलिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन वाया टेट्राहेड्रल इंटरमीडिएट। और जो भी SN2TH रिएक्शन का रेट होता है, एक्चुअली इट इज डायरेक्टली इनवर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू क्राउडिंग एट कार्बोनिल कार्बन, जो एसाइल कार्बन होता है उस पर। यानी यहाँ पे एक्चुअली जब आप एस्टरिफिकेशन करेंगे तो इस कार्बन पे अटैक होगा, Cl निकलेगा और एल्कोक्साइड आ जाएगा। तो क्राउडिंग सबसे ज्यादा 1 में है, तो 1 का रेट मिनिमम होगा। एंड सबसे आपको बताना है, कंपैरिजन करना है, और यहाँ पे क्राउडिंग लीस्ट है तो सेकंड का सबसे ज्यादा हुआ रेट, देन थर्ड, देन 1। Alright, based on crowding factor, higher will be the crowding, lower will be the rate of esterification. So your D option is going to be correct one. Which of the following compound also maximum enol content? देखिए इनॉल कंटेंट क्या होता है, ये डिपेंड करता है कि जो इनोलाइजेबल हाइड्रोजन होता है उसको निकालने के बाद जो एनायन बचेगा वो कितना ज्यादा स्टेबल होगा, राइट? तो जैसे इन सभी में कॉमन बात क्या है, लाइक CH3 C डबल बॉन्ड O CH C डबल बॉन्ड O O ET। ऐसे इसमें भी CH3 सेकेंड ऑप्शन की बात कर रहा हूं, CH ये वाला हाइड्रोजन की बात कर रहा हूं, C डबल बॉन्ड O Me, थर्ड में CH3 C डबल बॉन्ड O CH3, एंड फोर्थ में CH2 C डबल बॉन्ड OH C डबल बॉन्ड OH, राइट? और ये वाला हाइड्रोजन अल्फा हाइड्रोजन हो गया। तो मैं एक्चुअली आप इस ऑप्शन को भी छोड़ दीजिए, इसमें तो सबसे कम एसिडिटी होगी क्योंकि इसमें इस बाकी जितने भी एग्जांपल हैं उसमें ये वाला हाइड्रोजन मोस्ट एसिडिक होगा, बिकॉज इट इज सराउंडेड बाय 2 स्ट्रॉन्ग इलेक्ट्रॉन डिड्राइविंग ग्रुप। मतलब इस हाइड्रोजन को निकाल दूं तो जो एनायन बनेगा वो दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन डिड्राइविंग ग्रुप से स्टेबलाइज हो जाएगा। तो ये इसमें भी है, इसमें भी है, इसमें भी है, इसमें नहीं है तो ये मिनिमम हो गया, इसमें मिनिमम इनॉल कंटेंट होगा। अब अगर मैं बाकी तीनों में कंपैरिजन करूं तो जो एनायन होता है, लाइक मैंने इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रोटॉन निकाला तो यहाँ पे एनायन बना बेसिकली। अब एनायन बनने के बाद यहाँ जो ग्रुप लगे हुए हैं ना, अगर वो इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्राइंग है तो स्टेबिलिटी बढ़ा देंगे, इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग है तो स्टेबिलिटी कम कर देंगे। लाइक ये इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग है, प्लस ग्रुप है, ये भी इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग है, यहाँ भी इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग लगा है, यहाँ भी इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग लगा है, यहाँ पे कोई ग्रुप नहीं लगा है, सिर्फ हाइड्रोजन लगा हुआ है। तो दिस एनायन इज द मोस्ट स्टेबल एनायन। तो इसका जो करस्पॉन्डिंग कॉन्जुगेट एसिड था वो ज्यादा एसिडिक हुआ, यानी इस प्रोटॉन का इनोलाइज होने की टेंडेंसी मैक्सिमम है, तो इसमें मैक्सिमम इनॉल कंटेंट होगा, इसलिए आपका आंसर डी करेक्ट आंसर होना चाहिए। ऑलराइट, The hydride of group 16 are arranged in increasing order of thermal stability. देखो थर्मल स्टेबिलिटी बॉन्ड एनर्जी पे डिपेंड करता है, और बॉन्ड एनर्जी OH बॉन्ड की मैक्सिमम होगी और H2T की मिनिमम होगी। क्यों? साइज फैक्टर, राइट? थर्मल स्टेबिलिटी डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू बॉन्ड स्ट्रेंथ या बॉन्ड एनर्जी, कैसे भी बोल सकते हो। तो OH का मैक्सिमम बॉन्ड एनर्जी है, तो OH H2O इज गोइंग टू बी थर्मली मोस्ट स्टेबल कंपाउंड, दैट्स इट, और कुछ भी नहीं है इसमें। तो आपका ए ऑप्शन करेक्ट हो गया। रिगार्डिंग द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ साइनामाइड पिक द रॉन्ग स्टेटमेंट। देखो साइनामाइड का जो स्ट्रक्चर होता है C डबल बॉन्ड N CN2 माइनस, एक -1 यहाँ पे होगा और एक -1 यहाँ पे होगा। ओके, तो इट हैज 1 कार्बन विद नेगेटिव चार्ज, गलत, ये स्टेटमेंट गलत है, आंसर आ गया आपका। इट हैज 2 सिग्मा बॉन्ड, यस, 2 सिग्मा 2 पाई है। इट हैज 2 पाई बॉन्ड, ये भी करेक्ट है। इट हैज 2 नेगेटिवली चार्ज नाइट्रोजन एटम्स, यस, ये भी करेक्ट है। सो ए ऑप्शन इस क्वेश्चन का करेक्ट आंसर होगा। Amongst TiF6 2 minus this and this, आपको बताना है कलरलेस स्पीसीज। ऑलराइट, TiF6 2 माइनस जो है ये बेसिकली आपका Ti4 प्लस ऑक्सीडेशन में है, और 4 प्लस ऑक्सीडेशन में D में 0 इलेक्ट्रॉन होते हैं। ऑलराइट, कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉन D में लाई नहीं करेगा। ऐसे अगर आप कोबाल्ट CuF6 3 माइनस करोगे तो ये 3D6 होता है, यानी इसमें अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन होगा। Cu2Cl2 में एक्चुअली Cu प्लस है, और Cu प्लस में 3D10 इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कंफिगुरेशन है, और NiCl4 2 माइनस में 3D8 इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कंफिगुरेशन होता है, और 3D8 में भी क्योंकि क्लोराइड है, वीक फील्ड लिगेंड है, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन्स अनपेयर्ड फॉर्म में होंगे। तो यहाँ अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन है, यहाँ अनपेयर्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन है, तो ये दोनों कंपाउंड, और कौन सा हो गया, हाँ, ये दोनों कंपाउंड के अंदर dd ट्रांजिशन पॉसिबल है, तो दे आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी कलर्ड। इसमें नहीं है, CuCl2 में नहीं है, एंड TiF6 2 माइनस में नहीं है, इसलिए आपका करेक्ट आंसर होना चाहिए डी, दे आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू बी कलरलेस। हाउ मेनी एल्कीन्स फ्रॉम द फॉलोइंग आर मोर स्टेबल देन दिस कंपाउंड। ठीक है, इस कंपाउंड में टोटल अल्फा हाइड्रोजन, देखो जो स्टेबिलिटी होती है डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू नंबर ऑफ हाइपर कॉन्जुगेटिव स्ट्रक्चर। अगर रेजोनेंस नहीं है तो हाइपर कॉन्जुगेशन इज अदर फैक्टर। तो स्टेबिलिटी इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू नंबर ऑफ हाइपर कॉन्जुगेटिव स्ट्रक्चर एंड विच इज इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ हाइपर कॉन्जुगेटिव स्ट्रक्चर्स इज इक्वल टू नंबर ऑफ अल्फा हाइड्रोजन। तो आप देखो इसमें एक अल्फा यहाँ पे है, दो अल्फा यहाँ पे है, तो टोटल तीन अल्फा है यहाँ पे। यानी ऐसे सारे कंपाउंड जिसमें तीन से ज्यादा अल्फा हाइड्रोजन होंगे वो इससे ज्यादा स्टेबल हो जाएगा। तो पहला तो ये हो गया, इसमें तीन यहां से, 3 + 3 + 2 + 2, राइट, 10 अल्फा हाइड्रोजन है, तो एक ये हो गया। इसमें भी 3 यहाँ पे है एंड 2 यहाँ पे है एंड 1 यहाँ पे है, तो ये भी आंसर आ जाएगा। इसमें 6 हाइपर कॉन्जुगेटिव स्ट्रक्चर हो गए। इसमें 3 यहाँ पे है, 2 यहाँ पे है, तो वैसे ही ज्यादा हो गया, ये भी हो गया। इसके अंदर सिर्फ 2 + 2 4 है, तो ये भी आंसर आ गया एक्चुअली। इसके अंदर आई हैव ओनली 2 हाइपर कॉन्जुगेटिव स्ट्रक्चर, तो ये हमें काउंटिंग में नहीं आएगा। तो आपका टोटल नंबर ऑफ एल्कीन्स विच आर मोर स्टेबल देन द गिवन एल्कीन इज गोइंग टू बी 4, 1 2 3 and 4, right? Last one is not more stable than the given alkene, so your answer is 4. Find the number of species having more than 4 bond angles. कौन कौन से स्पीसीज है जिसमें 4 बॉन्ड एंगल से ज्यादा होंगे? देखो CH4 में होता है 6 बॉन्ड एंगल। इफ यू लुक एट द टेट्राहेड्रल स्ट्रक्चर यू फाइंड देयर आर 6 बॉन्ड्स एक्चुअली। जैसे आप टेट्राहेड्रल इसको आप बना लोगे ना तो यू अंडरस्टैंड कि देयर आर 6 बॉन्ड्स, HCH सारे। इसमें भी 6 बॉन्ड होंगे, CCl4 में भी। CHCl3 के अंदर 3 तो आपके HCl बॉन्ड होंगे और ClCl भी 3 होंगे, तो इसमें भी 6 बॉन्ड एंगल हो गए। XCF6 में एक्चुअली ये डिस्टॉर्टेड ऑक्टाहेड्रल होता है, इसमें टोटल 15 बॉन्ड एंगल्स प्रेजेंट होंगे। ये एक्चुअली कुछ इस तरह से होता है, पेंटागोनल बाइपिरामिडल। इसके अंदर फ्लोरीन ऊपर, फ्लोरीन ऊपर, फ्लोरीन इक्विटोरियल पोजीशन पे और एक जगह लोन पेयर भी होता है। तो अगर आप टोटल बॉन्ड काउंट करोगे ना तो 5 ऊपर वाले फ्लोरीन का इक्विटोरियल के साथ, नीचे वाले फ्लोरीन का इक्विटोरियल के साथ एंड इक्विटोरियल पोजीशन के अंदर जो फ्लोरीन प्रेजेंट है उनका आपस में जो बॉन्ड एंगल होगा वो भी 5 होगा, तो टोटल 15 हो जाएगा। ऐसे XCF6 में भी 6 बॉन्ड एंगल आएंगे एंड CO2 में सिर्फ 2 ही बॉन्ड एंगल होंगे, तो ये आंसर में नहीं आएगा। SO2 में भी 2 ही होंगे, नहीं आएगा। SOCl2 का जो स्ट्रक्चर है उसमें एक तो ClCl बॉन्ड हो गया और 2 OCl बॉन्ड हो गए, तो ये भी नहीं आएगा आंसर में। ऑलराइट, POCl3 के अंदर आपका 3 तो ClCl बॉन्ड हो गए और ऑक्सीजन क्लोरीन के साथ 3 और हो गए, इसमें भी 6 हो गए। तो कुल मिला के केवल आपके जो नहीं आने वाले हैं वो CO2, SO2 एंड SOCl2। तो टोटल बाकी बचे 1 2 3 4 5 एंड 6, टोटल 6 स्पीसीज आर देयर। कौन कौन से? मीथेन हो गया, CCl4 हो गया, CHCl3 हो गया, XCF6 हो गया, XCF4 हो गया एंड POCl3 हो गया। तो ये सारे के सारे मोर देन 4 बॉन्ड एंगल्स कंटेन करते हैं। मोर देन 4 बॉन्ड एंगल्स में जरूरी नहीं है कि डिफरेंट बॉन्ड एंगल हो, दे कैन बी सेम बॉन्ड एंगल आल्सो। ऑलराइट, examine the structural formula of the following compound and find out the number of compounds which show higher rate of nucleophilic addition. देखो एरोमेटिक कार्बोनिल कंपाउंड में अगर पैरा पोजीशन में कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग ग्रुप प्रेजेंट हो रेट को बढ़ा देता है। कैसे? लाइक ये आपका एरोमेटिक कंपाउंड है, अगर मैं यहाँ पे कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग ग्रुप लगाऊं तो यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे प्लस चार्ज क्रिएट करेगा वाया मेसोमेरिक इफेक्ट, और प्रेजेंस ऑफ दिस प्लस चार्ज एक्चुअली इंटेंसिफाई द प्लस चार्ज एट दिस कार्बन, या इस कार्बन के ऊपर जो पॉजिटिव चार्ज है उसका डिलोकलाइजेशन को ब्लॉक कर देगा, नहीं होने देगा। तो प्रेजेंस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग ग्रुप at para position increases rate and electron releasing group decreases rate, right? तो अब आप देखिए OMe डिक्रीज करेगा, Cl इंक्रीज करेगा, NO2 बहुत ज्यादा इंक्रीज करेगा, Me2 भी डिक्रीज करेगा और ये भी डिक्रीज करेगा, ये इंक्रीज करेगा। तो आपको बताना हायर देन दिस, यहां मिथाइल लगा हुआ है, ठीक है? तो इससे ज्यादा वाले यानी इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग वाले उठा लो, तो एक तो ये वाला कंपाउंड हो गया, एक ये कंपाउंड हो गया, एक ये कंपाउंड हो गया। तो टोटल 3 कंपाउंड ऐसे हैं जिनका रेट इस कंपाउंड से यानी पैरा मिथाइल बेंजल्डिहाइड के न्यूक्लियोफिलिक एडिशन के रेट से ज्यादा है। ऑलराइट, सो योर आंसर हैज टू बी 3। नंबर ऑफ कायरल सेंटर्स प्रेजेंट इन कंपाउंड बी, यानी पहले हमें कंपाउंड बी निकालना पड़ेगा। तो पहले ग्रेनाड का एडिशन है एक्चुअली साइनाइड पे होगा और फॉलोड बाय हाइड्रोलिसिस। तो कंपाउंड ए आपका जो बनेगा, देखो साइनाइड पे जब भी हम ग्रेनाड का एडिशन करते हैं तो पहले कीटोन बनता है, एंड कीटोन बनने के बाद फिर अगर फर्दर एडिशन करेंगे तो टर्सरी अल्कोहल बनेगा। तो C2H5 यहाँ पे आ गया। इस पे जब आप CH3 माइनस का अटैक कराए और फॉलोड बाय एसिडिफिकेशन, तो ये जो कंपाउंड आपका बना CH3COH राइट। अब बताना है इसके अंदर कितने कायरल सेंटर्स मौजूद हैं। देखिए, एक तो ये कायरल सेंटर हो गया, एक ये कायरल सेंटर हो गया, एक ये कायरल सेंटर हो गया और एक ये भी कायरल सेंटर हो गया, CH3 एक्चुअली। ऑलराइट, so we have four chiral centers present in the final compound of this reaction sequence. So answer is 4. If P is equal to number of compound which give positive azodie test. Azodie test is given by aromatic amine actually. Aromatic primary amine. जो एरोमेटिक प्राइमरी अमीन होते हैं वो बेसिकली एजो कंपाउंड में कन्वर्ट हो जाते हैं, जिनका बीटा नेप्थॉल के साथ रिएक्शन कराने पर कलर्ड डाई बनता है। ठीक है। एंड क्यू इज द नंबर ऑफ कंपाउंड विच गिव पॉजिटिव आइसोसाइनेट टेस्ट। ये प्राइमरी अमीन का टेस्ट है। प्राइमरी अमीन एलिफेटिक भी हो सकता है और एरोमेटिक अमीन भी हो सकता है। तो देखिए एरोमेटिक प्राइमरी अमीन कितने हैं वो देख लेते हैं पहले। एक तो आपका हो गया ये और एक ये, बस दो ही हैं, बाकी सब एरोमेटिक नहीं है, यानी डायरेक्टली NH2 ग्रुप रिंग से अटैच नहीं है। तो आपका जो P है वो 2 हो गया। एंड ऐसे कंपाउंड जो आइसोसाइनेट टेस्ट देते हैं यानी प्राइमरी अमीन होने चाहिए, वो कौन है, कितने हैं, चेक करते हैं। एक ये प्राइमरी अमीन है 1 2 3 4 4 4 4 एंड 5। तो Q का वैल्यू हो गया 5। तो 2 + 5 7 इज गोइंग टू बी योर करेक्ट आंसर। ऑलराइट, आपको P + Q आंसर में देना है। तो एजोडाइटेस्ट इज एक्चुअली कैरेक्टरिस्टिक रिएक्शन ऑफ प्राइमरी एरोमेटिक अमीन। प्राइमरी एरोमेटिक अमीन डाइजोनियम सॉल्ट में कन्वर्ट होता है, उसकी फिर कपलिंग रिएक्शन हो जाती है बीटा नेप्थॉल से। ऑलराइट, बेसिकली बीटा नेप्थॉल ये होता है, देखो ये बीटा नेप्थॉल इज दिस। अब इसमें जब भी हम PHN2 या एरोमेटिक डाइजोनियम सॉल्ट का रिएक्शन कराएंगे तो यहाँ पे कपलिंग हो जाती है और इससे डाई बनता है, एजो डाई। राइट, तो इसीलिए इसको प्राइमरी एरोमेटिक अमीन के एनालिसिस के लिए, लेबोरेटरी टेस्ट के लिए इस टेस्ट को यूज किया जाता है, इस रिएक्शन को यूज किया जाता है। ऑलराइट,
Hi everyone, I'm Firoz Khan, Master Teacher of Mathematics here at Vedantu. So in this video, we are going to discuss the mathematics paper which was conducted very recently, right? So see the question on your screen based on three-dimension geometry. So 2 points are given and they are saying that the image of the point P, A69 with respect to this given line is 20 B minus B comma minus A minus. Means these 2 points are mirror images of each other with respect to the given line, right? So you have to get mod of A plus B. So what you can see here, since these 2 points are mirror images of each other with respect to this line, so hence if I find the midpoint of these two, if I find the midpoint of these two, so what will be the midpoint of these two? Midpoint of the given point P and its image. So midpoint is A plus 20/2, 6 plus B/2, and 9 minus A minus 9/2. And of course, this midpoint must lie on the given line. So what you can do here, you just put this midpoint in the given line. Means in place of x, put A plus 20/2, in place of y, 6 plus B/2, and in place of z, minus A/2. So I will get A plus 20/2 minus 3 whole divided by 7. 6 plus B/2 minus 2 whole divided by 5. And minus A/2 minus 1 whole divided by minus 9. So now I'm getting A plus 20 minus 6, 14 by 2 can be cancelled from each of the A plus 14 by 7. 6 plus B minus 4, so B plus 2 by 5. And minus A minus 2, so A plus 2 by 9. if I solve first and last these two, so I'm getting 9a plus 126 is equal to 7a plus 14. So hence 2a, 126 minus 14 minus 126, 14 minus 126 is minus 112. So a is minus 56. Now if I put a is equal to minus 56, if I put a is equal to minus 56, so I'm getting b plus 2 by 5 minus 56 plus 14 minus 42 divided by 7 minus 6 minus 56 plus 14 minus 42 divided by 7. So b comes out to be minus 32. And hence the absolute value of a plus b is 56 plus 32, which is 88. So 88 should be the correct answer, right? See this question. We have to find the shortest distance between the line x minus y is equal to 1 and the curve x square is equal to 2y. So basically this curve x square is equal to 2y is an upward parabola like this. And you have a line here. Let's say this is the line. And you have to find the shortest distance between the line and the parabola. So what you will do, just take a point on the curve where the tangent is parallel to this line. Let's say P is a point on the curve at which tangent is parallel to this line. And this line has slope 1. So that means slope of the tangent at P is 1. Slope of the tangent at P is 1. And slope of tangent is what? Basically derivative. So if I differentiate the curve, I'm getting 2x is equal to 2y dy by dx. 2x is equal to 2y dy by dx. So dy by dx is what? X over y. So this is the slope of the tangent, dy by dx. And you can see that the tangent is parallel to this line. So this slope must be 1. So hence x and y should be equal. If I put x and y equal here, if I put x and y equal here on this curve, so what I will get, let me check. I think I've done some error in differentiation. Actually 2x is 2 dy by dx. So dy by dx is basically x only. And slope is 1, so x is 1. So you got x. And when you put x is equal to 1 in the curve, x square is equal to 2y. So y will be half. So I can say that the P point is 1 comma half. Now the shortest distance between the line and the curve is basically the length of the perpendicular from the point P to the given line. This PQ is the shortest distance, length of perpendicular from P to the curve. So what will be the shortest distance? Shortest distance is length of SD means shortest distance, length of the perpendicular from 1 comma half to this line. So that will be 1 minus half minus 1 over under root a square plus b square root 2. So it is 1 by 2 root 2 actually. Means option A is the correct option, right? See this question, this is from hyperbola. So a hyperbola has center at the origin passing through this point, and 5x is equal to 4 by 5, 4 by root 5 is the directrix of the hyperbola. So then you have to find an equation in E is the eccentricity. So you can see that the directrix is x is equal to 4 over root 5. And your hyperbola is in standard form x square over a square plus y square over b square is equal to 1. So directrix will be x is equal to a over e. So hence you can say that A is actually 4e by root 5. Now your hyperbola is what? hyperbola is x square over a square minus y square over b square is equal to 1. It is passing through the point. It is passing through the point 4 comma minus 2 root 3. So this 4 comma minus 2 root 3 must satisfy this hyperbola. So you will get 16 over a square minus 12 over b square is equal to 1. Or you can write 16b square minus 12a square is a square b square. Now in a hyperbola, it can also be written as 16 minus a square b square is 12a square. 16 minus a square b square is 12a square. Now in a hyperbola, b square can be written as a square e square minus 1. So this is 12a square. This a square cancelled. Now I can write 16 and a is what? 4e by root 5. A is 4e by root 5 here. So a square will be what? 16e square by 5. E square minus 1. It is 12. Here 16 can be taken common. So you will get 5 minus e square multiplied with e square minus 1 is equal to 12 into 5. Now you are getting 4 times. Just multiply these two brackets. So you are getting 5e square minus 5 minus e4 plus e square. And here your 4 is cancelled. So here you are getting 15. So ultimately you are getting what? Ultimately you are getting 4e raised to 4. 5 and 1 6. So minus 24e square plus 35 is equal to 0. Actually 4e raised to 4. Means option D should be the correct option, right? See this question. This is from area. You have to find the area bounded by this curve. Area enclosed by the curve. Now clearly you see that the left hand side is positive here, greater than or equal to 0. So hence this x square 4 minus x minus 2 should also be greater than or equal to 0. So x belongs to 2 to 4. And of course at 0, 0 also satisfies it. But 0 is an isolated point that will not be in the enclosed area region. So your enclosed area region is from 2 to 4. Area is enclosed from 2 to 4. One more thing you can see that if I replace y with minus y, there is no change in the curve. That means this curve is symmetric about x-axis. When you replace y with minus y, there is no change. Curve will be symmetric about y-axis. So just find the area above y-axis from 2 to 4, double it, you will get your area. So what will be area above x-axis from 2 to 4? So in fact, I can write it as y is equal to, I'm just finding the area above x-axis from 2 to 4 and 2 times that will give me the required area. So required area is what? 2 times. Why I'm taking 2 times? Because I'm finding the area above x-axis, double it, total area. So area will be 2 times 2 to 4 y dx or fx dx. So it is 2 times. And what is 2y dx actually? You can see 2y will be, you can see that 2y dx will be what? 2 to 4 x under x 4 minus x minus 2 dx under root actually here. So this is the area 2 to 4 x under root 4 minus x minus 2 dx. Now it is 2 to 4 x inside the root. If you multiply inside the root, if you multiply, you will get what? You will get you will get 4x, 2x, 6x minus x square and minus 8. This is what you are getting, dx. Now if I make a perfect square inside the root, so it is x times under root. Just make a perfect square inside the root. So it is 1 minus x minus 3 whole square. 1 minus x minus 3 whole square. Just check it carefully. X minus 3 whole square will give you x square minus 6x plus 9. Yes, it is correct. So now what I will do to integrate it, let's substitute x minus 3 as sine theta. So now this integration becomes x will be what? 3 plus sine theta. And x minus 3 sine theta. So under root 1 minus sine square theta is cos square theta. So you will get cos theta here. When x is 2, theta will be minus pi by 2. And when x is 4, theta will be pi by 2. Now it can be written as minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, 3 cos theta plus 3 plus sine theta cos theta d theta. Now you can see that sine theta cos theta, this one, is an odd function. So hence the integral of this sine theta cos theta from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 is 0 only. Is 0 only. So now you have to integrate. Now you have to in fact this, yes, this is 3 cos theta. So now you have to integrate this cos theta only. Am I doing some mistake? X is 3 plus sine theta. Can I put x is equal to 2 sine theta minus 1 theta pi minus pi by 2 when x is equal to 4? Correct. Okay, let's check. Let's see what happens. Now integration of cos theta will be sine theta. Lower limit minus pi by 2. Upper limit pi by 2. Right. So now I'm getting what? I'm getting something different answer. Why? I don't know. What mistake I'm doing. 2 to 4. X times under root, it is correct. X minus 3 sine theta. So dx will be what? Oh, dx, yes, dx is correct. Cos theta d theta. Yes, I made a mistake here. I missed this square root term actually. I missed a term inside the root actually. My bad. So let's recalculate. If I put x minus 3 as sine theta, so x will be 3 plus sine theta. This under root 1 minus sine square theta, it is cos theta. And you will write dx also, no? So dx will be, you can see dx is also cos theta d theta. So I missed this dx actually. So dx is cos theta d theta. So you will get actually again one more cos theta here. So now it is what? Minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. 3 cos square theta plus 3 sine theta cos square theta. Now it is correct. Now in minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, this sine theta cos square theta, this is an odd function. So this will become 0. So you have to integrate this 3 cos square theta only. And cos square theta is an even function. So you can write it as 3 times, since it is an even function. So this will become 0 to pi by 2. 2 times 2 cos square theta. If function is even, then minus a to a fx dx can be written as 0 to a 2fx dx. Minus a to fx is 0 to a 2fx dx if function is even. Now it is 2 times 0 to pi by 2. 2 cos square theta can be written as 1 plus cos theta. 2 cos square theta 1. Let's integrate. So it is theta and integration of cos theta is sin theta. It is sin theta. Why I'm doing such mistake? 2 cos square theta is 1 plus cos 2 theta. 2 cos square theta is 1 plus cos 2 theta. So now it is 2 times theta. Integration of cos 2 theta will be sin 2 theta by 2. 0 to pi by 2. Now substitute the limit. So it is what? So many error in a single question I'm doing, and I don't know why. It is 3 times now here. 3 times. 3 times. So now if I substitute the limit 3 times, theta is pi by 2. When you put upper limit, sin pi 0, lower limit 0. So in both cases, it will be 0 actually. Hence 3 pi by 2 is the correct answer here. Sorry, my bad. Lot of calculation error I did, and so I took so much time here. See this question. Two functions given, fx and gx. First, you have to find inverse of both, f inverse x and g inverse x, and then solve this equation. So let's find inverse of both. So fx is x minus 2 over x minus 3. Fx is x minus 2 over x minus 3. So how will you get its inverse? This curve is basically its inverse function will be, just replace x and y, means write fx as x and x as y. Y is f inverse x. So you can write it as x is equal to y minus 2 over y minus 3. To get the inverse of any function, what you do, simply write the function as x and x as y. Y is f inverse x actually here. So from here, if you get y, so xy minus 3y is y minus 2. So from here, if you find y, y is 3y minus 2 over x minus. To refocus. So I'm getting what? I'm getting xy minus 3y, y minus 2. So let's find xy minus 3x, y minus 2. And if I find y from here, y is f inverse x. So y will be what? 3x minus 2 over x minus 1. So this is basically f inverse x. Now let's find g inverse x. So gx is 2x minus 3. So what will be its inverse? To write its inverse, replace gx by x and x by y. So y will be x plus 3 by 2. This is g inverse x. Now they have given f inverse x plus g inverse x 13 by 2. So 3x minus 2 over x minus 1 plus x plus 3 by 2. It is equal to 13 by 2. 3x minus 2 over x minus 1 over x plus 3 by 2. This is 13 by 2. Now just solve this. You will get a quadratic equation here. So if you solve this, 3x minus 2 over x minus 1 plus x plus 3 by 2, you will get this quadratic. And the roots of these quadratics are 2 and 3. So sum of values of x will be 5. So the required sum is 5 here, right? Okay, see this question, you have to get the value of this expression. So let's say this expression is x. And you can see that if I take this one, the terms enclosed here. So this is same as the original 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 5. So this is same as original. And the whole thing is taken as x. So this one is also x. So that means I can write x is equal to 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by x. So it can be written like this. X is equal to 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by x. Or you can say x minus 4 is x over 5x plus 1. Hence 5x plus 1 into x minus 4, it is x here. Now if you multiply here, you will get a quadratic equation 5x square. Then you will get minus 20x and plus x. Plus x will disappear from both sides. So minus 20x and minus 40. Now if you use quadratic formula here, so this is 20 plus minus under root 400 plus 4 into 4 into 5, 80 divided by 10. So you are getting what? 20 plus minus. Let's take 16 common here. So 4. So it will be what if I take 16 common? So it will be 25, 25 and 80. 25 and in fact 16 common. So 25 and 5, 30 by 10. So now this is 2 plus minus 2 by 5 root 30. This is x. And obviously the value of this expression cannot be negative. All terms are with plus sign. So out of these two values, positive one will be considered. Just reject the negative one. So 2 plus, and obviously your quantity is greater than 4, actually 4 plus something. So you will take the positive value here, 2 plus 2 by 5 root 30, which is option D. See this question. You are given this expression. Question is based on binomial, or you can say number system, number theory. So they are saying that this expression is divisible by both 14 and 34, 34 but not 14, neither 14 nor 34, 14 but not 34. Which one is correct here? So you have to check the divisibility by 14 and 34, right? Now you can clearly see that the first two terms are odd. First two terms, this term and this term are odd. So their difference will be even. It means the difference of first two terms is clearly even. Now 8 raised to 190 is always even. Power of 8 even, power of 2 even. So last two terms are even. So first two terms are odd, so hence difference is even, and next two terms even. So you can clearly say that it is surely divisible by 2. It is surely divisible by 2. So now I know that this number is surely even. It is surely divisible by 2 here. This number is divisible by 2. Now let's check the divisibility. Let's check the divisibility by So let's check the divisibility by 17 first. I'm checking 17. Since number is already divisible by 2, if it is divisible by 17, then it will be divisible by 34 also. Divisible by both 2 and 17 means divisible by 34. Now recall a result, and this is a very important result. A raised to n minus b raised to n. It is always divisible by. It is always divisible by a minus b. If n is any integer, whether it is odd or even, any natural number you should say. N is any natural number, odd or even. A raised to n minus b raised to n is always divisible by a minus b. So let's use this result here. So you can see that I can write this one as 25 raised to 190 minus 8 raised to 190. These two together. Then minus 19 raised to 190 minus 2 raised to 190. So I just told you a raised to n minus b raised to n is always divisible by a minus b. So this first bracket is divisible by 25 minus 18, which is 17. And this second bracket is divisible by 19 minus 2, 17. So you can clearly say that it is divisible by 17. And since this expression is divisible by both 2 and 17, so hence it must be divisible by 34. So now you are sure that this given expression is divisible by 34. Now next I will check divisibility by 7. If it is divisible by 7, then it must be divisible by 14 also, because it is divisible by 2 already. So to check the divisibility by 7, let's rewrite this expression. Means let's find the remainder when it is divided by 7. If remainder is 0, then it is divisible by 7. If remainder is not 0, then obviously it is not divisible by 7. So what I will do, I can write this 25 raised to 190 as 21 plus 4 raised to 190. I can write 19 as 21 minus 2 raised to 190. 8 can be written as 7 plus 1 raised to 190. And let's keep this 2 raised to 190 as it is. So 21 is divisible by 7, so I can erase it. 21 is divisible by 7, I can erase it. 7. In fact, what I'm doing, I'm just finding the remainder when it is divided by 7. So now I'm left with what? 4 raised to 190 minus 2 raised to 190 minus 1 raised to 190 plus 2 raised to 190. So this one cancel. Now 4 raised to 190, I can write it as 4 cube raised to 63. Yes, 60 into 3, 180. Yes, 189. But 190 I have, so let's put 4 here, minus 1. I can write like this. Now it is 4. 4 cube is 64. 64 can be written as 63 minus 1. Now 63 is divisible by 7, so I can erase it. So now I'm getting minus 4 minus 1. Remainder is minus 5. Or you can say remainder is 2. So when I'm dividing this quantity by 7, remainder is 2. You will not say remainder is minus 5. You will say remainder is 7 minus 5. Remainder is 2. So when I'm dividing this expression by 7, remainder is 2. That means this expression is not divisible by 7. And since it is not divisible by 7, so obviously it is not divisible by 14. So which one is correct? 34, but not 14. Option B. See this question, this is from probability. They are saying that words with or without meaning are to be formed using all the letters of the word examination. Means you are forming words by arranging all the letters of this word. You are just arranging all the letters of the word. So then what is the probability that letter M appears at the 4th position? Letter M appears at the 4th position. So actually there are 11 letters here. How many letters are there? 11 letters in this word. And these 11 letters are arranged randomly at these 11 places. So these 11 letters are arranged at these 11 places randomly. So that, but what you want, the letter M appear at the 4th position. So M should be here. So very straightforward. See, M can go to any of the 11 places. M can go to any of the 11 places. So total possibility is 11. This is total number of cases. M can be in any of these 11 places. But you are saying that it should be at place 4. It should be at place 4. So favorable case is 1 only. It should be go to 4 only. So therefore 1 by 11 is straight away. So straight away your answer is 1 by 11. M can be at any of the 11 places. This is total number of cases. Favorable cases, it should be at 4. Means only one favorable case. So hence 1 by 11. See this question. This is from complex numbers. Z is root 3 by 2 plus iota by 2. And then you have to get the value of this expression. So let's convert Z in terms of omega. Omega means cube root of unity. So you know that omega is what? Omega is minus 1 plus root 3 iota by 2. So let's convert this in terms of omega. Or you can say omega is minus 1 minus root 3 iota by 2. Both are same thing. If you take omega is minus 1 plus root 3 iota by 2, then omega square is minus 1 minus root 3 iota by 2, or vice versa. So I'm taking omega this minus 1 plus root 3 iota by 2. But you can see that my number Z is not actually minus 1 plus root 3 iota by 2. In fact, it is root 3 by 2 plus iota by 2. Real part is root 3. So I have to make the real part root 3 here. So what I will do, let's multiply with iota here. In fact, let's multiply with minus iota here. So if I multiply with minus iota, just multiply with minus iota. So you can see that if I multiply with minus iota, it will become root 3 plus iota by 2. Multiply with minus iota, so this will become iota root 3 minus root 3 iota square, that will be root 3. So that means your number Z is nothing but minus iota omega. Your number Z is minus iota omega. Now I have to find the value of 1 plus iota Z plus Z raised to 5 plus iota Z raised to 8. This is what I have to find, whole raised to 9. Let's put the value. 1 plus iota Z. So iota Z is what? Minus iota square, which is plus 1 to omega. So 1 plus omega. Iota Z will be omega. Minus iota square plus 1 omega. Z raised to 5. Z raised to 5 is minus iota raised to 5. Iota raised to 5 is iota. Omega raised to 5, which is omega square, because omega cube is 1. Then iota Z raised to 8. So minus iota raised to 8, that is 1. Iota raised to any power of 4 is 1. So iota raised to 8 is 1. Omega raised to 8 is again omega square. Whole raised to 9. So this one and this one disappears. Now you know that 1 plus omega square is 0. So hence this 1 plus omega can be written as minus omega square raised to 9. So now this is minus omega raised to 18. And omega raised to multiple of 18 is always 1. So this one will be minus 1. Means D is the correct option here. Okay, see this question. This is from hyperbola. And they are saying that it's a standard hyperbola which passes through the point 4 comma 2. Transverse axis is length 4 along the x-axis. Means it is standard hyperbola, basically x square over a square minus y square over b square is equal to 1. So your hyperbola is what? X square over a square minus y square over b square is equal to 1. This is the hyperbola. And they have given that the length of transverse axis is 4. The length of transverse axis will be 2a, which is 4. So hence a is 2. If you put a is equal to 2 here, if you put a is equal to 2 here, and one more thing, your hyperbola is passing through the point 4 comma 2. So 4 comma 2 must satisfy it. So if I put x is equal to 4, y is equal to 2, so it is 16 by a square is 4, y is 2, so 4 by b square, it is 1. So from here you are getting 4 by b square is equal to 3. So hence b square is 4 by 3. Now what they are asking? The eccentricity. The eccentricity of a hyperbola is what? Under root a square plus b square by a. So a square is 4, b square is 4 by 3 by a is 2. So it is 16 means 4 by root 3 divided by 2. So hence 2 by root 3 is the correct answer. Option D should be correct here, right? Okay, see this question. This is from differential equations. And if I rewrite this differential equation, it is actually a linear differential equation. It can be written like this: dy by dx minus y by x is x square cos x. It can be written like this. And you can see it is a linear differential equation, dy by dx p by q. So if I find its integrating factor is e raised to p dx, the minus 1 over x dx, e raised to minus log x, which is 1 by x. So what will be the curve or solution? Left side y into integrating factor, right side q into integrating factor, which is x cos x dx, q into integrating factor. Now let's use integration by parts here. The first function x, integration of cos x is sin x, derivative of first 1, integration of cos x sin x. So finally your curve is y by x is x sin x plus cos x plus c. This is your curve. Now they are saying that this curve is passing through pi comma 0. Y pi 0 means if x is pi, y is 0. So put x is equal to pi, y is equal to 0. So it will be 0. X is equal to pi, it is 0. Cos pi minus 1 plus c. So c is 1 actually. Then they are asking y pi by 2. Means if I put x is equal to pi by 2 here, what will be y? So if I put x is equal to pi by 2, y will be what? Just cross here. So y will be pi by 2. Then pi by 2 sine pi by 2, which is 1. Cos pi by 2, which is 0. And c is 1. So ultimately it is pi square by 4 plus pi by 2. Means option B is the correct option here. Right? Okay, see this question. This is from definite integration. You have to find sigma n varying from 1 to 100, n minus 1 to n, e raised to x minus integral part of x dx. And e raised to x minus integral part of x is nothing but e raised to fractional part. And fractional part is a periodic function with period 1. So it is a periodic function with period 1. So since it is a periodic function with period 1, so hence whether you integrate 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 in 2 to 3, any length of interval 1 will give you the same integral, same value of integration. So you write n minus 1 to n or you write 0 to 1, that will be same because function is periodic. So same graph repeat in 0 to 1, then 1 to 2, then 2 to 3, then 3 to. So take any interval of length 1, you will get the same value of integration. So n minus 1 to n can be written as 0 to 1 straight away. So I can write it as n varying from 1 to 100, 0 to 1 e raised to, and in 0 to 1 integral part of x is 0 only. So it is 0 to 1 e raised to x dx. Now it is n varying from 1 to 100. Integration of e raised to x is x, e raised to x, upper limit e, it will be e minus 1. And now it is summation of a constant. Summation of a constant is basically constant multiplied by number of terms. So it is 100 times e minus 1. So this value will be 100 times e minus 1, which is the first option. See this question. This is from indefinite integration. So I can write this integration as sine theta. Sine 2 theta can be written as 2 sine theta cos theta. So I will get 2 sine square theta cos theta. Then sine raised to 6 theta plus sine raised to 4 theta plus sine square theta. Then under root 2 sine raised to 4 theta plus 3 sine square theta plus 6. And in denominator, I can write 1 minus cos 2 theta as 2 sine square theta d theta. So this 2 sine square theta disappears. Now if I substitute sine theta as t here, so then cos theta d theta becomes dt. So this integration is t raised to 6 plus t raised to 4 plus t square. And then under root 2 t raised to 4 plus 3t square plus 6 dt, t sine theta. Now somehow I have to form the derivative of the quantity inside the root. Means you have to make the derivative of the quantity inside the root. So but here if I take the derivative, I will get 8t cube plus 6t square plus 0. So I'm not getting like this. So I have to do some manipulation here. So what I will do, I will take t common from this one. It is t raised to 5 plus t cube plus 1. And this t which is taken common from this bracket is taken inside the root. So inside the root, actually t square will go. So you will get 2t raised to 6 here, 3t raised to 4 here, 6t square here. It is manipulation type of question. If you can observe this manipulation, then only you can solve the problem. Otherwise, you cannot solve the problem. So this is just observation kind of thing. Means only those students can get the marks who can observe this thing. Now you can see that if I substitute this 2t raised to 6 plus 3t raised to 4 plus 6t square as, let's say, z. Let's say it is z. So then I will get what? I will get 12 times t raised to 5 plus t raised to 3 plus t, actually it is t here actually. I've taken one t common, dt dz. And once your integration is now what? Let me call this integration as I. Hence your integration is now what? 1 by 12 z raised to half dz. And integration of z raised to half is z raised to 3 by 2 over 3 by 2. So 1 by 12, 2 by 3, z raised to 3 by 2. And z is what? Z is 2t6 t sine theta. So 2 sine raised to 6 theta plus 3 sine raised to 4 theta plus 6 sine square theta raised to 3 by 2 plus c. So this should be your answer. 2 sine raised to 6 theta plus 3 sine raised to 4 theta plus 6 sine square theta raised to 3 by 2 plus c. And in case option is not matching, then try to convert sine in terms of cos in case it is not matching then. Let me check which option is correct here. B option, yes, it is. They have given in terms of cos. So you have to convert sine in terms of cos, then option will match. Means what you will do, you write sine square theta as 1 minus cos square theta, sine raised to 4 theta as 1 minus cos square theta whole square, sine raised to 6 theta as 1 minus cos square theta whole cube, and rearrange after expansion, you will get option B. So it's a tricky question, tricky and lengthy too, because options are not given in terms of sine, they have given in terms of cos. So you have to do some manipulation to get the option also. See this question. This is from inverse trigonometric functions. So it is sine of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3, which is nothing but pi minus cot inverse 1 by root 3. And you know that cot 60 degree will be 1 by root 3. So cot inverse 1 by root 3 is 60 degree, which is pi by 3. Then cos inverse 3 by 5. And if I convert this tan inverse 3 by 4 in terms of sine inverse, so tan is P by B, sine will be P by H. So it will become sine inverse 3 by 5. Actually, tan inverse 3 by 4 is same as sine inverse 3 by 5. Tan P by B, sine P by H. Now it is sine 2 pi by 3 plus. Now you know that cos inverse x plus sine inverse x is pi by 2 always. So cos inverse x plus sine inverse x is pi by 2. So now it is sine 90 plus theta. Sine 90 plus theta is cos theta, cos 2 pi by 3. Now it is cos 120 degree, which is minus half. So minus half should be the correct answer, which is option C. See this question, this is from trigonometry. 256 raised to cos square x plus 16 raised to sine square x, it is 12. So then what will be the value of this second expression? So see 256 raised to cos square x. Actually, it can be written as 16 raised to 2 cos square x. So it is 16 raised to 2 cos square x. Now 16 raised to sine square x can be written as 16 raised to 1 minus cos square x. Now it is 12. So it can also be written as 16 raised to cos square x whole square plus 16 over 16 raised to cos square x. It is 12. Now if I substitute 16 raised to cos square x as t, so it is t square plus 16 by t is equal to 12. T is 16 raised to cos square x. So now you are getting a cubic equation here, t cube minus 12t plus 16 0. Let's get a root by heat and trial. So t is equal to 2. Yes, t is equal to 2 satisfies. So I know that one factor will be t minus 2 as t is equal to 2 satisfies. So since t is equal to 2 is a factor, so t is equal to 2 is a root, so t minus 2 will be a factor. So I can write it as t cube. Since t minus 2 is a factor, so it is t cube minus 2t square, then plus 2t square, then minus 4t, and then t is equal to 2 is a factor, no? So I have t is minus 2 is a factor, or yes, so t square common, t minus 2, here t is 2t square common, here 2t common, yes, t minus 2. I have minus 8, so minus 8t plus 60. It can be written like this. So from first to t square common, t minus 2. From next to 2t common, t minus 2. From last to minus 8 common, t minus 2. So now t minus 2 is a factor, and now other factor is a quadratic, t square plus 2t minus 8. Now let's factorize this quadratic. So this quadratic can be factorized as again t minus 2, t plus 4. And obviously t cannot be negative. You can see t 16 raised to cos square x exponential can never be negative. So you are getting only one value of t, which is 2. T is obviously positive number. T cannot be negative. So t is 2. And t is basically what? 16 raised to cos square x. It is equal to 2. 2 can be written as 16 raised to 2 can be written as 16 raised to 1 by 4. So hence cos square x is 1 by 4. Now they are asking the value of 16 raised to cos square x plus 81 raised to sin square x. 16 raised to cos square x is 2. Basically it is t. And 81 raised to sin square x can be written as 1 minus cos square x. So it is 2, 81 raised to 1 minus 1 by 4. Cos square x is 1 by 4. 1 minus 1 by 4 is 3 by 4. So it is 2. 81 can be written as 3 raised to 4. So it is 27. So hence 29 should be the correct answer. 29 is correct here. See this question. This is from differentiability. This function is given as differentiable at x is equal to 0. So then what will be f dash 0 plus a plus b, right? So since the function is continuous at x is equal to 0, so I can say that it is differentiable. It is differentiable at x is equal to 0. So hence it must be continuous also at x is equal to 0. Means if I check the limit x approaching to 0 fx, so that must be f0. Now what is limit x approaching to 0 fx? Limit x approaching to 0 fx is sin x over x minus a, and f0 is b. You know that when x approaches to 0, sin x over x is 1. So 1 minus a is b. 1 minus a is b. Now let's find f dash 0. So f dash 0 you can write limit x approaching to 0 fx minus f0 over x. By definition, f dash a is fx minus fa over x minus a. Fx minus fa over x minus a. So f dash 0 is fx minus f0 over x minus 0. Whenever you are writing derivative at a, f dash a, you will write fx minus fa over x minus a. So it is what? Limit x approaching to 0. Fx is what? Sin x over x minus a. F0 is what? B over x. And from here you can see that a plus b is 1. So if I put a plus b 1 here, so it is limit x approaching to 0 sin x over x. A plus b is 1, so minus 1 over x. Now it is limit x approaching to 0. If you simplify it, so this will become what? Sin x minus x over x square. Sin x minus x over x square. Now if you expand sin x using expansion formula, the expansion of sin x is x minus x cubed by 3 factorial plus x 5 by 5 factorial. Keep on writing like this till infinity minus x over x square. So this x cancel. One more x can be taken common from the numerator. So this x is also cancelled. Ultimately, this limit comes out to be 0. So hence, f dash 0 is 0. They are asking what? F dash 0 plus a plus b. F dash 0 is 0 and a plus b we have already found on the top. A plus b is 1. So hence 1 will be the correct option here, right? B option is correct option. Okay, see this question. This is from limits. And you can see that given x approaches to 0, numerator and denominator both are approaching to 0. So I can use LH rule here. LH rule means L'Hopital rule. In LH rule, what we do? We just differentiate numerator and denominator. If I differentiate the numerator first using Leibniz formula, so I will get sine under root x square and then derivative of upper limit, which is 2x. And lower limit is 0, so minus 0. And derivative of denominator is 3x square. So now you can see that limit x approaching to 0 plus, it is 2 by 3 sine x by x. Since x is 0 plus, so you can write under root x square as x only. No need to write mod x. And sine x over x is 1, so limit is 2 by 3. So hence 2 by 3 is the correct answer here. Option C. See this question. from matrices. Determinant of A is 2. You have to find 3 times adjoint determinant of 3A into A square. So let's write it as 3 times. First, I can take these 3 outside. Since A is a 3 by 3, so if I take these 3 outside the determinant, this 3, if I take this 3 outside the determinant, so it will be 3 cube adjoint. Then again take 3 outside this determinant. So again you will get 3 cube determinant of A square. This value you have to find. Now you have 3 cube adjoint 3 cube, and determinant of A is also 2. Determinant of A is 2. So you got what? You got 3 cube into 2 A square. So this is 3 cube determinant adjoint of 3 cube into 2A square. Now you know that the determinant of adjoint A is determinant of A whole square if A is a 3 by 3 matrix. So it will be 3 cube determinant of 3 cube into 2 A square whole square. 3 cube 2 A square whole square. Now I can write it as 3 cube. Take this 3 cube into 2 outside the determinant. So that will be 3 cube into 2 whole cube determinant of A square whole square. 3 cube into 2 whole cube determinant of A square whole square. Now you are getting what? 3 cube. This 3 into 3, 9, and then again 2. 3 into 3, 9, to 3 raised to 3 raised to what? It is 3 into 3, 9, and into 2, 18. So it is 3 raised to 18. Then 2 raised to 3 and 2, 2 raised to 6, 2 raised to 3 and 2. And then determinant of A raised to 4. Determinant of A raised to 4, which is 2 raised to 4. So you are getting this 3 raised to 3, 3 raised to 18, then 2 raised to 6, and then 2 raised to 4. But they have written as 3 and 6. They have written as 3 and 6. So I am getting what? I am getting 3 raised to 21, 2 raised to 10. So it can also be written as 3 raised to 11 and 6 raised to 10. So it is 3 raised to 11, 6 raised to 10, means B option should be the correct option here. See this question. It's based on quadratic, and some complex number will also be used. Alpha, beta are the roots of this quadratic. So let's find the roots first. Alpha, beta, using quadratic formula. So minus b plus minus under root b square 4ac by 2a. I'm just using quadratic formula. Minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac by 2. So it is root 2 plus minus root 6 iota by 2. So it is root 2 plus minus root 6 iota by 2. Right? So you are getting, let's say alpha is root 2 plus root 6 iota by 2. And beta is root 2 minus root 6 iota. If I check the modulus of these roots, alpha, beta, if I check modulus of the roots, mod alpha, let's say if I'm checking, so that will be under root 2 plus 6 by 2. Under root 2 plus 6 by 2, so ultimately it is root 8 by 2 to root 2, so root 2 is the modulus. And if I check argument of alpha, the argument will be, since it is lying in the first quadrant, so argument will be tan inverse root 6 by root 2, root 3, which is pi by 3. So its modulus is root 2, argument is pi by 3. So hence I can write alpha as root 2 e raised to iota pi by 3. See, any complex number, if modulus is r, argument is theta, it can be written as r e raised to iota theta. Now, what is beta? Beta is just its conjugate. So that will be root 2 e raised to minus iota pi by 3. So now if I take alpha raised to 14 plus beta raised to 14, so then root 2 raised to 14 will be common. And inside I will get e raised to iota 14 pi by 3 plus e raised to minus iota 14 pi by 3. Root 2 raised to 14 is nothing but 2 raised to 7. E raised to iota theta is cos theta plus iota sin theta. E raised to minus iota theta is cos theta minus iota sin theta. So you will get 2 cos theta here. Theta is 14 pi by 3. And 14 pi by 3 can also be written as 4 pi plus 2 pi by 3. So it is 2 raised to 8. And now cos 4 pi plus 2 pi by 3. 4 pi even multiple of pi effectively 0. It is cos 2 pi by 3, 120, which is minus half. So hence your final answer is minus 128. A should be the correct option here. See this question. This is from PNC. You are given 6 digits here, 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and you are forming a 5-digit number greater than 40,000. Your number must be greater than 40,000 and it should be divisible by 5. And without repetition, means you cannot repeat the digits. So how many such numbers you can form? So see, your number is divisible by 5. So hence unit digit must be 0 or 5, right? Unit digit must be 0 or 5. So two type of numbers I can form here. Okay, let's say unit digit is 0 first. Unit digit is 0. So means I have 5 places. Unit digit is already fixed. It is 0. This is already fixed. Now your number must be greater than 40,000. Must be greater than 40,000. So hence at the leftmost position, means at the 10,000 place, you will either put 5 or 7 or 9. 3 possibility. So 3 possibility here. It will be either 5 or 7 or 9. So 2 places filled. So now I have to fill 3 more places, 1000 place, 100 place, and unit place. And for these 3 places, I'm left with 4. I'm left with 4 digits. See, out of 6 digits, 2 digits are already used, 0 is used, and 1 digit is already used here at the leftmost position. So I'm left with 4 digits. So here I have 4 options since repetition is not allowed. So 3 options, 2 options. So hence, how many numbers you can form here? 72 numbers. When unit digit is 0. Now what happens if unit digit is 5? If unit digit is 5. So this time unit digit is 5. Not this place. Again, this place will be either, in fact, this place will be either 7 or 9 because 5 is already used. So 2 options here. And remaining 3 places, again, you are left with 4 digit. So 4 option here, 3 option here, 2 option here. So 48 numbers. So how many numbers total you are getting? Total you are getting 72 when unit digit is 0, 48 when unit digit is 5. So it is 120. Means totally 120 numbers you can form. See this question. They are saying that S is a set containing natural numbers. S is the set containing n. N is a natural number. And n must satisfy this matrix equation. If I multiply this matrix with ABCD, I should get the same matrix ABCD. I is here under root minus 1. So how many two-digit numbers are there in the set S? In short, they are asking if n is a 2-digit number, so then how many possible numbers satisfy this equation. Means basically you have to find all the 2-digit numbers n, all the 2-digit numbers n satisfying this equation. Now you can see that if you multiply these two, you are getting the same matrix ABCD. Means this matrix must be identity matrix 0i 1 0 raised to n. It must be an identity matrix. So actually let me take this matrix as A. I'm taking A matrix as 0 I iota here 1 0. So if I'm multiplying A raised to n with B, I'm getting B only, and B matrix I'm taking ABCD. Hence this A raised to n must be an identity matrix. It must be an identity matrix because it is true for all B. B's ABCD are any real number. It is true for all B. Whatever is B, it doesn't matter. A raised to n B will be with. A raised to n must be an identity matrix. So let's see how can A raised to n be identity matrix. So one method will be just go by heat and trial, find A square, then A4, then see at which power you get an identity matrix. Or the other method will be let's form the characteristic equation of this matrix. If I form the characteristic equation of this matrix, the characteristic equation will be this A minus xi0, determinant of A minus xi. So you will get minus x iota 1 0. Oh, sorry, minus x. Just subtract x, A minus xi. Whenever you are forming a characteristic equation of a matrix, what you do, from diagonal elements subtract x, remaining will be left as it is. So you can see that its characteristic equation is x square is equal to iota. And if x square is iota, obviously x raised to 8 will be 1. And every matrix satisfies its characteristic equation. So you can say A raised to 8 is 1. 1 means identity matrix. When you are replacing x with A, so then 1 will be replaced by I. So A raised to 8 is I. And when A raised to 8 is I, so A raised to any multiple of 8 will be I. So hence n must be a multiple of 8. N must be of the form 8n, multiple of 8. And since n is a 2-digit number, so that means n can be 16, 24, 8 into 2, 8 into 3, 32. Last will be 96. So how many possible values of n? So there are total 11 possible values of n. Start from 8 into 2, 8 into 3, 8 into 4, 8 into 12. The total 11 possible values of n are there in the set S. Right? Okay, let's see this question. Based on quadratic, fx is a quadratic function here. F of minus 1 is 2. F dash minus 1 is 1. Maximum value of f double dash x is half. So what will be maximum value of fx? Maximum value of fx, they have given alpha. So you have to find the least alpha. Basically, they are saying that if fx is always less than or equal to alpha, if fx is less than or equal to alpha for all x, so what will be alpha here? So obviously alpha is nothing but the maximum value of the function. Alpha is nothing but the maximum value of the function because fx is always less than or equal to alpha. So alpha will be maximum of fx. So let's see. Fx is what? Fx is ax square plus bx plus c. So f dash x is 2ax plus b. F double dash x is 2a. And they have given that the maximum value of f double dash x is half. Actually, f double dash x is constant. So maximum is half means this constant is half. Actually, f double dash x will not change its value. It will remain constant only. So hence it is half. So a is 1 by 4. A is 1 by 4. Next, they have given f dash minus 1 is 1. F dash minus 1 is 1. F dash minus 1 will be what? Minus 2a plus b. It is 1. Minus 2a plus b. Minus 2a is what? Minus half plus b, 1. So b is 3 by 2. One more information is given. F minus 1 is 2. F minus 1 is 2. F minus 1 will be what? A minus b plus c. It is 2. A is what? 1 by 4. B is what? 3 by 2 plus C. It is 2. So it is what? 1 by 4 minus 6 by 4. 1 by 4 minus 6 by 4 is minus 5 by 4. So C will be what? C will be 2 plus 5 by 4, means 13 by 4. And hence I can say that if function fx is what? Function fx is ax square, means 1 by 4x square, plus bx, which is 3 by 2x, plus c, which is 13 by 4. If I take 1 by 4 outside, so it is x square plus 6x plus 13. And if I make a perfect square here, so it is x plus 3 whole square plus 4. I have to get the maximum value actually, not minimum value. I have to get the maximum value, not the minimum value. So let's get the maximum value of this function in the interval minus 1 to 1. In the interval minus 1 to 1. X belongs to, they have given x belongs to minus 1 to 1 here. And you can see that its derivative is always positive. Derivative is what? Derivative is 1 by 4, 2x plus 6. Right? Which is always positive for all x belonging to minus 1 to 1. Even if you put x is equal to minus 1, least value, it is positive. Means your function is increasing function. And your function is increasing function. So hence maximum of fx will be f1 only. Function is increasing, graph is going up. The maximum value you will get at 1. Now what is f1? F1 is 1 by 4. 1 plus 6 plus 13. So it is 5 actually. And since function is maximum 5, so you can say fx is less than or equal to 5 always. Means alpha is 5. Alpha is 5. Or you can say the least value of alpha is 5. Why they are saying least value? Because if fx is less than or equal to 5, so you can say fx is less than 6 also, less than 100 also, less than 1000 also. What is the least alpha? The least alpha will be the maximum value of the function fx, which is 5. Right? See this question based on definite integration. So you have to get the absolute value of this definite integration. Absolute value of this definite integration. So it is what? 0 to root pi by 2 integral part of x square plus integral part of minus cos x. You can write like this. Actually, this integral part of x square is an integer, and integer can be taken outside the box. So it is taken outside the box. You got this. Now in 0 to pi by 2, 0 to root pi by 2. Root pi by 2 is slightly greater than 1. So I'm writing it as 2 integrals, 0 to root pi by 2. Let's keep it as it is, under root x square. And in 0 to root pi by 2, this cos x is a positive number, minus cos x is a negative number. So integral part will become minus 1 here. Now this 0 to root pi by 2, root pi by 2 is 1 point something. So I will break this at 1, 0 to 1, integral part of x square. And then 1 to root pi by 2, integral part of x square. Then minus dx integration is x, 0 to root pi by 2. Actually, root pi by 2 is basically what? Root pi by 2 is, pi is with what? 3.14. Pi is 3.14. So root pi by 2 will be root of 1.57. No? So obviously it is less than root 2, I think. Let me check, because if it is greater than root 2, so then I have to break the interval at root 2 also. So let's check. Okay, root pi by 2 is obviously less than root 2 or not. If I cross, root pi is less than, no, root pi is what? Yes, it is less than 2, root 4 actually. Yes. So obviously it is less than root 2, root pi by 2. So hence you can say that in 0 to 1, this will be 0. And since this root pi by 2 is less than root 2, so x square lies between 1 and 2 only here. X square lies between 1 and 2, so integral part of x square will be 1. Integral part of x square will be 1. So it is 1 to root pi by 2. Since integral part is 1, so it is dx here. And here you are getting under root pi by 2. So now it is what? Under root pi by 2, integration of dx is x. So upper limit root pi by 2, lower limit 1, minus root pi by 2. So it is minus 1. But as you can see, they are asking its absolute value. And since they are asking its absolute value, mod value, so mod value will be 1 only. So it is 1. Hence 1 is the correct answer, right? Okay, see this question. This is from binomial theorem. They are asking the number of rational terms in this expansion. Number of rational terms. So let's write the general term first, tr plus 1. So general term tr plus 1 is what? 120 cr, 4 raised to 1 by 4, 120 minus r, 5 raised to 1 by 6 is 2. So it is 120 cr, 4 raised to 120 by 4 is 30, 30 minus r by 4, and 5 raised to r by 6. So obviously term will be rational if r is a multiple of both 4 and 6. And since r is a multiple of both 4 and 6, so r must be a multiple of 12. Means r can be 0, 12, 24, and at most r can be 120. So how many terms you are getting here? 11 terms. So number of rational terms is 11 here. Means 11 will be the final answer, right? Why I'm getting 121? Let me check. 120 now. So r will be a multiple of, am I doing some mistake? 120 cr. So 120 cr, 4 raised to 1 by 4, 120 minus r, 5 raised to 1 by 6 raised to r, ncr, x raised to n minus r, y raised to r. So it is 120 cr, 4 raised to 30 minus r by 4, 5 raised to r by 6. So r must be a multiple of both 4 and 6. R must be a multiple of 12. So 0, 12, 24, last 120. So 12 into 1, 12 into 2, 12 into 3. So yes, it should be 11 values. Why 21 is written here? Oh, my bad. I'm doing error here. How can I do such mistake? I can write 4 as 2 raised to square, no? My bad. It's mistake from my end. I missed it. 120 cr. Let me write here itself. Actually, 4 raised to 1 by 4. 4 can be written as 2 square. So basically it is 2 raised to 120 minus r by 2. And then 5 raised to r by 6. Right? 4 is 2 square. So ultimately it will be 120 cr 2 raised to 60 minus r by 2 and 5 raised to r by 6. Now you can see that r must be a multiple of both 2 and 6. Means r must be a multiple of 6. So it will be 0, 6, 12, 18, and at most r can be 120. So yes, 21 values. My bad. Sorry. 21 values. I missed 4 actually. see this question. They are saying that this function f is defined from 1 to 3 to 2 to 7, and it is a bijective function and continuous also. Bijective means it is 2 to 7 is the range of the function. Domain is 1 to 3 and range is 2 to 7. So since function is bijective and continuous, the graph will be either increasing throughout or decreasing throughout. It's your choice. You can take increasing or decreasing. The graph will be basically increasing or decreasing straight away. So you can take increasing graph or decreasing graph. So let's say this is y-axis. So suppose the graph is increasing. You can take decreasing also. I'm taking increasing. So at 1, the value of the function is 2. So let's say this is 1, 2, this point. And at 3, value is 7. Let's say this point is 3, 7. The graph is increasing from 1, 2 till 3, 7. And graph is continuously increasing from here to here like this. Open at both ends. So between these 2 points, see here value is 1, here value is 7. So between these 2 points, your function will be discontinuous at all those points where the value of fx is integer. Integral part of fx will be discontinuous at all those points where fx is an integer. So fx can be integer here. It can be integer here at 2. This is 2. Then 3. Then 4. Then 5. Oh, sorry. At 1 value is 2 now. At 1 value is 2. That is 2 here. This one is 3. Let me change. I'm going from 2 to 7. So 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. So let's say here the value is 3. 3, 4, 5, 6. So your function will be discontinuous at these points. Because at each of these points, in function, I'm checking the continuity of the function integral part of fx. This function I'm talking about. And graph is for fx. This graph is y is equal to fx. But your function is not fx. Your function is integral part of fx. So if you take the integral part of fx, so see, let's say this point is alpha. So on the left side of alpha, integral part will be 2. But on the right side of alpha, integral part is 3. So if you check the limit of this function, integral part of fx at x is equal to alpha, left limit will be 2, right limit will be 3. Left limit 2, right limit 3. Similarly, at this point, let's say this point is beta. Left limit will be 3, right limit will be 4. At this point, let's say this point is gamma. Left limit will be 4, right limit will be 5. Similarly, at this point, let's say delta. Left limit is 5, right limit is 6. So at all these 4 points, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, your function will be discontinuous. So your function is discontinuous at 4 points only. The number of points where the function is discontinuous, integral part of fx, is 4, 3, 4. Your function fx is discontinuous at the points x is equal to alpha, beta, gamma, delta. Or you can say that it is discontinuous at fx is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6. At fx is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6. Not x. Not x. At fx is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? Okay, let's wrap up this video. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you all. See you guys.